New decade, new me, going to jail, baby. Multiple felonies.
So the world ended. You were the end of my world.
Yeah, that's what it was. The world ended because we met each other. Jack me off till I die.
I don't know why I would. You're being kind of a dick right now.
Because we're not delicious, plump-looking little fruits.
Debatable.
Well, yeah, super debatable, actually.
50 cents.
That can't be right.
That
We
can't
could
possibly
never be right.
We could never be right about anything. There's no conceivable way.
Episode like this, jammed
On
full of things
this?
we actually had to look up.
Full of things where we had to
A
actually do
pre-fact check?
research.
And we can't even be funny.
You
Like
mean we
like
actually
to?
prepared for an episode for
Doubt
once?
it.
No, yeah, doubt it.
Both of us just have blank notepads.
Oh.
Like, oh yeah, I think
All week I've just been sitting on my ass eating TV dinners, watching YouTube. I'm like, yeah, I'll get to it Thursday, and then like it just
we
never
all do
happened.
that.
Then it
Like,
was 3 p.m. and you're like, I'll be there at 6 to get you, and I'm like, oh shit, it's Friday. Oh, stupid make pretend Wednesday.
Yeah, I definitely procrastinate a lot. But welcome, folks. It's the Dapper Dads. This is episode 125. And we're here. We made it, folks. It's the last episode of 2019.
Last episode of 2009. Last episode of the decade for you guys.
Yeah, which if you haven't caught on, because we've been keeping it tightly under wraps like we do with everything, we typically do a year in review of sorts. Not really that logical
No.
or thought out. Now we're doing a decade, because this is probably the only time we'll get to talk about a decade.
Because if this is still going like this, like exactly
In 10
like
years.
this in 10
Exactly.
years.
Ew, this...
Yeah, no, it's got to be. We
None
got to
of
be
this
doing
will be
something
here
better
in
in
10
10
years.
years. Well, hopefully we're all dead in 10 years. Are we cracking
Cheers
these?
to that.
we
Yeah,
cracking
we
these
gotta-
boys open now?
We got ourselves some shout-out Welches.
Welchers.
To everybody, yeah, you got to stop doing that, because what I'm about to say is everybody listening who helped us with Natter Days who refuses to endorse us.
Or
but,
acknowledge us.
yeah, which got crazy because they
Which is
really
weird.
fucked me. And then they were like, we'll make it right. And I was like, only if you acknowledge the Dapper Dads. So yeah, everyone who reached out to Natter Days, we need you to reach out to Welch's. I sent them a formal email and got no response. But we're big fans if you haven't noticed already. Oh yeah, that first drink.
Yeah, nothing hits right about being alive anymore except this.
yeah.
This is the only thing that still hits. Like liquor just tastes like burning. Beer just tastes like bubbles. Weed
Yeah,
just tastes
crazy
like
about
weed. This
Welch's.
just hits
This
right
episode's
every time.
sponsored by Welch's, whether they like it or not. Do you ever have it when you finish it, that last sip, the way it falls out, it's just so gone?
It's
like,
so
do you know what I
gone.
mean?
It's
Like,
because
just suddenly.
It's because of the glass.
Yeah, but
It
it's
makes
just
you
like,
feel like you got more in there.
Yeah.
And I know you're a man of fine taste like me, sitting
Thank
there
you.
just drinking straight from the bottle on the couch.
I've never poured it in.
Why would you ever pour it
I
into
feel
a
like
glass?
it would make it bad too.
Yeah,
you know what I hate? Cracking it, drinking a lot of it, having a decent amount left, putting it in the fridge, and
then
it
it's
ruins
flat.
it.
Yeah.
It gets so flat. I've done it for like 10 minutes, just a quick freezer to get it back.
Nope.
I don't know
It
what
goes
happens
flat
as
so
soon as you
fast.
make it cold.
You got to get it cold, open it to the air, and then it
Yeah,
does
and it's
does
just-
whatever chemical reaction
can't
it does in
reseal
there.
it, yeah.
No, there's no.
It's shocking.
That's why you got to drink it so fast. You just got to drink
Just
all of it. Like, how about we just do a 5-second chug on the Welch's grape juice?
No, I like to do 3 gulps. That's what I see, because you do too much and it starts to tickle your cheeks.
Yeah.
Call you pretty. You know that you're not.
That's why I buy it. Somebody's
So yeah,
gotta flirt with me.
we're doing a decade in review. In the meantime, go to www.thedapperdads.com and do whatever the fuck you want, because we don't care, because it's gonna be 2020, you piece of shit.
Yeah, roaring 20s are coming back, baby, and
Yeah.
we're going to be pieces of shit about it.
As we said on the last episode, all submissions are on hold until the first episode of the next year. We have quite a few already. Some are incredible.
We're going to have at this point, it looks like it's going to be a submission-only
It
episode
could be,
at some
yeah.
point.
So get them in. We're not ignoring them. They will come up. We just had to do these 2 episodes. I didn't mean to throw the lighter, but I'm glad.
I'm glad you did.
It slipped out of my hand.
It's beautiful.
The one I had earlier was so mentholy. It was
Really?
insane. Yeah, I know.
Because
which
they
is
banned it in
weird.
Massachusetts,
So
so
they're
now they're just
doubling it
all
up.
everywhere else.
Yeah,
we
it
get
was
to
the
reap
point
the menthol
I
benefits.
was driving and I was like, well, this is a little excessive. Sometimes I forget they're even menthols because I just smoke Newports traditionally. But yeah, so leave us the submissions. We'll get to them next episode.
We
next
do
week.
see them. We do read
Yeah,
them.
they're great.
Yeah,
Some
we
of
have
them
lots
are
of
shocking.
beautiful things coming in. We appreciate you guys, everybody who's submitted thus far this decade. You know, we've actually been doing this for 13 plus years,
Yeah.
so
It's crazy. It's crazy to see time fly when you're having a lot of stress. Go to your email provider. It should be Gmail. It's 2020, folks. We're not dealing with
we're not dealing with any
technically not
cut rate.
2020.
We're not dealing with any Hotmail guys out here anymore.
Get rid of your Yahoo. It's bad for you.
It is bad for you.
Email.
I remember I logged into my Yahoo recently because I was doing
Trying to find old nudes.
No, I was doing a scam trial for something so I could watch something, and I used an old Yahoo that's still active, and I went to open it to do like the email confirmation, and there's like,
And it read you your bank account number.
it was like
wow.
40,000 unread emails, and I looked and they're all spam or junk from somewhere because it's just bullshit from like when I was a teenager, you know, and you just used that email address for everything.
I have 10 Gmail accounts. I won't speak upon what most of them are for. But email dapperdadspodcast@gmail.com. We got our a legitimate email. Again, we're just going to allude to everything, and we'll talk about it next week. We'll talk about it in the future. How about that?
The regular kooky show, is on hold for a little bit. We're going to drop the veil for a while for you guys.
We're going to be real professional. We have notes. The last episode and this episode have notes. And that in itself
should tell you.
Shocking and unfamiliar. Call 4027-DAPPER. That's 4027327737. Leave us voicemail, text us, whatever the fuck you want to do. Again, anything that's submitted will be addressed next week. In the meantime, we're just laughing at you. All your submissions.
We're basically
saying, wow, I can't believe this.
We can't believe our fans are so funny and illiterate. It's crazy.
Yeah, some of you are
so illiterate that it terrifies me. I want to know how you even found the show if you can't read.
Yeah, because we get a lot of people think it's a fatherly advice show.
Yeah, or people get into us because they're like, I was looking for an advice about how to be
which is insane.
I think
possibly the worst thing I've done with my life is that someone's like, oh my god, I'm going to be a dad, to the point where you listen to podcasts about it,
advice,
and then instead you just get really into us.
I think we're good at giving fatherly advice. I mean, I think that
I don't think we ever have.
I think we've given advice on the show, and it could be taken constructively.
Yeah,
for
don't
those
kill yourself.
If you need a father figure, we could stand in for it in the advice. That's why we have the
over the internet
thing.
Don't make it
weird. Not real life. Don't come up to me at like a bar and call me dad and be like, Dad, I haven't seen you in so long.
Yeah, only ladies can call
I'll pretend I don't know you, just like I do in front of your mother. It's fine.
Follow us on Twitter at dapperddads. Where who the hell knows? 2020. It's gonna hold some things.
It's gonna be wild. It's gonna be different somehow, or it's just gonna be more of the same. There's only one way to find out.
What's worse? Follow us on Instagram at dapperdadspodcast, where it's either more of the same or it's different. Who knows?
We're just getting very vague and nihilistic on the show about everything in 2020. We're just going to be real straight to the point.
It's hard to picture opening up a new decade.
It's hard to think that
looking up everything made it hit me.
It did in a weird way. Yeah,
I was like, we're actually going to do this. Go to www.patreon.com/dapperddads, where there may or may not be more episodes in this decade. I'm so confused.
Yeah.
Time is an enigma. Listen to us shout about it for 45 uncensored minutes.
Doesn't exist
on the Patreon. I'm not saying we're making an episode about it, but I assume if all the times we've mentioned time being an enigma on the Patreon probably equals out to 45
I'm not saying we're not making an episode of it, but I'm not saying it hasn't already happened or it's going to happen already yet, and we just haven't lived through it.
Right. There's only one way to find out, and it's by getting on that Patreon. Leave us a review, because we're going into 2020 with not nearly enough reviews. Again, I want to emphasize that you can take your friends' iPhones or iPhones that are on displays at stores, or any iPhones you can get your hand on, and pop a quick review on there. If it doesn't work, change the name to nonsense. It doesn't matter, because it's not your phone. Your phone should have already left a review over 100 episodes ago that was glowing, and once they're put in, you can never take it back.
And it's got to be on iTunes. We can't stress this enough. Do not leave a review on the Facebook page.
Yeah, you can do both, but you better do that other one first.
Speaking of Facebook, I want to bring this up really quick. Just doing some social media upkeep during the week, I found there is another Dapper Dads page that some of our fans have liked. It is it's like the Daredevil logo, but it's DD for Dapper Dads, and it's like an inactive blog that stopped in like 2015 or something like that. So it's not like it's a parody page or another account.
We have a very firm logo.
Yeah,
the branding has always been consistent from day one. That is the one of the few things that I do take pride in, and trust me, there are very few.
Is on
branding is on point. So yeah, there'll never be a Daredevil logo. It's the two mouths. Get with it. So yeah,
Yellow.
if we're talking to you, everything's yellow and red, even when it shouldn't.
So yeah, if you're one of the people I saw that liked the other Dapper Dads page, go like the other page on Facebook.
I'm gonna get that page taken down.
We should
for
reasons.
Profanity is what I was gonna say. I meant, what do I mean? Slander.
They're showing women's nipples and talking bad about them.
I'll just post porn on it until it gets taken down.
That's fair.
The easiest way.
No, do some of those like free iPhone giveaways, and then do like those Facebook live streams where you're just like talking because you're bored and keep posting them to the page.
3 people are watching.
Yeah.
That's why I've never went live on
I'm not
Facebook.
giving away.
I don't want to see.
I was in a smoke sesh one time and I accidentally went live on Facebook, and I was very worried about what would have been said, and I started freaking out. And then people were just like,
I love that me and my underage friends are here doing drugs together at this time and place. 400 viewers. Wow. 4,000.
I don't even have that many friends. Everybody's sharing it.
Look
Listen
at
to this fucking idiot.
This kid.
He doesn't even know he's being recorded. Listen to this guy talk about everyone he knows personally and what he thinks about him because he's way too fucking high.
Listen to this guy talk about being on drugs a lot because he's on drugs.
Listen to this.
I'm so high right now, guys. It's
guys,
so everything.
No, guys, I don't think I could
unreal.
smoke another weed right now. I've had far too many.
I've faced far too many of
How could
them.
you even think about taking another marijuana straight to the face right now?
All right, should we get into this?
Might as well.
All right, so it started almost 10 years ago.
10 years ago in 2009. So let's think back to December 2009.
Should we? I don't know.
Let's go down memory lane.
I was trying. Oh no, he takes us back.
Yeah, it actually legitimately.
I'll have to kill her.
That's our. No, that fucks up the timeline. You can't do that.
My life is way better.
Oh,
Got away
can
with
you
murder.
imagine?
Pulled a real McAfee, right? The software?
guy that made the software
that
thing?
went fucking crazy.
Yeah, he was like on a boat with guns on international waters. Talking.
He makes the women. He shits in the women's mouth.
Maybe.
Have you heard this?
Yeah.
Can we say this?
Yeah, we can definitely.
Okay.
He's on a boat. What's he gonna do? Come get us?
Yeah. No, I thought you just meant on a boat. You can shit in women's mouth. Anyone's mouth. It doesn't.
You can do anything on international waters.
Shit in a woman's mouth.
If they allow it, if it's consensual.
So 2009, I was trying to specifically think of my New Year's Eve because I feel like I remember most of them, and I don't specifically remember.
See, 2009, December of 2009, I was still in high school.
I was 25.
I was a senior in high school. I had just met the girl I was going to be with for 4 years. We had just started talking, and I'm just trying to remember more about my life at that point. I lived at my mom's house. High
really
school.
Doing good.
Yeah, I was really doing great. Sleeping on a twin size mattress.
I hope you're cursed forever.
I was. I am.
I know.
And she wants me to be.
Yeah. Your nightmares will have nightmares every night.
Right.
That's me.
No, Jesus, I was 18 years old. Such a young man, thought I knew everything. I was like, I'm gonna go out in the world, and I wanted to be a rock star. That's pretty much all I really wanted to be. I just wanted to play music.
Yeah, that pando. I was in a bad relationship, and I'm trying to think. It's a funny story, so I'll tell it because I don't think it was the ringing in the decade, but it might have been because it feels like that would be topical. But I think it wasn't. I think it was 2000 or 2001. I don't know. Whenever it was, I was with this girl, and we were not together on New Year's Eve, and she got a DUI on New Year's Eve, driving into a gated community, and drove into a sign, and the gated community called the cops on her and told her exactly what house she went to, which is still funny to me. And she called me, and she called me from jail and told me she had gotten a DUI, and I hung up on her. Which was always a fight afterwards.
Well, yeah, I mean that's how you instigate a fight. That's an instant fight starter.
I've been to
come
jail.
Get me in jail. I got a DUI. Click.
I wasn't gonna come get her either way, and she knew that. Well, when I was in jail, you could make unlimited calls, so that's why I hung up.
That's what they don't tell you.
But she said she only got one, and even the cops were like, "Your one call hung up on you." And yeah, that's why it was a fight. Because I was like, well, I did it because when I was in jail, people would just call everyone they knew and be like,
they want
hey,
you to
what's
get.
up?
Because I've heard that. I've never been to jail, but I've heard from numerous.
Give it time.
Yeah, I know. This is
Actually,
it's a whole new decade.
Yeah, new decade, new me.
New decade, new me. Going to jail, baby. Yeah, multiple felonies.
Try it.
Just try it. You can't
Give it a
bash it
shot.
until you try it. But no, I have friends who've gone to jail, and yeah, every time they're like, they let you call so many people.
It's just there's like 4 phones.
Yeah, they're like,
no one does.
Because nobody wants you in there. They're just like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, they specifically want you to leave.
Yeah, no, they don't want you hanging around.
If you go to jail, huge dad tip, one of my favorites, tell them that someone is on their way, and then you don't have to go to jail. You just sit in a holding cell for 6 hours, and they'll be like, where are they at? And you're like, I don't know. It takes a long time, apparently. And they're like, no, it doesn't.
They're coming from Branson.
But, yeah, there's just like 4 phones you can make, and people just make like just gabbing, you know what I mean? Just catching
talking.
Up, like, oh, I haven't had time to call Mark.
I'm just in jail. I got time. Might as well call my dad, let him know how I'm doing.
Yeah, I called my dad. He hung up on me. Oh, no.
I'm noticing a pattern. Oh, no. I'm starting to see the trend.
Mine was fun. Hers was stupid. And we were on, when you're on the brink of like, why are we even together? I'm going to hang up on you when you get a DUI.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that. I know where I've been so vitrolic in a relationship that I just thought, yeah, I'm going to hang up on them if they're in prison for something serious.
Well, I think it was like a long time of me trying to get a hold of her and like being irritated and like, what the fuck? And then she's like, I had a DUI because I drove into a sign at a gated community.
If we're talking fun girlfriend arrested stories in the decade, when I was engaged, my I don't know how she got away with this. I don't know how she didn't get arrested. But my fiance was driving.
You.
Yeah, my fiance was driving on a suspended license, and she was coming back, driving my car, coming back from. She was working a second job, and so she was coming home at like 3:30 in the morning from Loves Park, going like 65 and a 35 or something like that, because
typical.
That's just who she was.
Speed demon.
This is the one who parked my car in a handicap spot and then made me pay the ticket.
That's love, baby.
Don't fall in love, fellas.
Yeah.
Or fall in love with
I was gonna say it's a tramp.
I was it's a tramp. Just came out like a weird chirp. It's a
love is a tramp.
Love is a lady.
Yeah.
Hate is a tramp.
Wow, we're getting real introspective for the last.
Yeah.
When does this come out? The 27th?
Something like that.
Yeah, the 27th. We got 5 days left of the
decade,
year.
So we're going to get introspective. But she got my car impounded, and so like the cop had to drive her back to our apartment at the time. And so like I was asleep, and then I get woken up by a knock on. Yeah, and I get woken up by a knock on the door.
Police knock.
Yeah, police knock, and of course I answer.
Which is very, very gentle. Like, sorry to bother
Definitely
you.
Not a pound.
Please.
And so she had to explain to me how the car got impounded and taken away, and it was going to cost all this money and everything else. And I said, why? Why would you do that? And she said, well, I was tired and I wanted to come home and go to bed.
Smart. Yeah.
Should have hung up on her.
You should have hung up on her in person. It's hard to do.
Yeah, you got to
make them deaf.
You got to take a phone and you got to slam it down right in between their boobs. That's the only way to do it.
You got to set off those grenades that make your hearing go out. You got a flash bomb.
Like a flash bomb, but for your hearing. So just a normal grenade in a closed small space.
I threw a grenade in the closet. I hate you.
Yeah.
No, I can't hear because of you.
Yeah, that first apartment I lived in was really rough. Couples always fighting upstairs. One time, guy threw a flashbang in the closet and it went off.
You mean when you made a walk-in closet because you loved her so much and she didn't have anywhere for her stupid amount of shoes? Women, am I right?
Am I right?
This is the decade we stopped dating women.
Yeah, this is Yeah, this is the decade. This is the decade we stop getting sad over women and start calling our friends and saying how much we love them. We're cock blocking girls in 2020, folks.
You love to see it.
How big is your dick? Small. Leave me alone.
Yeah. I've been saying that this whole decade. They just won't. They don't believe it.
They're insisting.
They're like, oh, he's so funny.
They're like, I saw you do that finger trick in elementary school. I know how big your dick is.
All right, let's just go through the years, I think is the best way to do this.
Okay.
We have each compiled facts, and in traditional fashion, we did not really go over them with one another.
Nope, so we each have different, varying different things that happened.
One thing we try to do is find the biggest song, album, and movie of each year. I'm interested to see if those all match up correctly on both sides. And then just things from the year.
I've got album and movies. The songs were
I've got songs, I think. It was okay for everything.
That's the
for
other
reference.
thing I thought. I was like, what I can't find, I know he has probably found.
Yeah, it's good to have that shoulder to lie on.
It is.
You lay on my shoulders, and I'm gonna be honest. If we're starting a new decade, it's a little much.
I just want to say you have the comfiest shoulders of any man I've ever met in my entire life.
That's how I
and the
get all
only
the
reason
women.
I take such solace in laying on your shoulders is because they're like those jackets from the 80s with the shoulder pads, except you're not wearing a jacket with shoulder pads. You're just
That's what you
that
think.
comfortable.
I got them sewed in the 90s.
Under your
Because they were
skin?
Yeah, they were on sale. No one was wearing them anymore. So yeah, we've got those 3 things, and then just shit from each year. You'll see once we go along. What I do want to say in preface, it's weirdly difficult to find anything that happened that's not sad.
Yeah. I was making this
click?
point because I was like, everything is depressing or bad.
It's like we went to war. We were
all
at
these
war.
people died.
Yeah,
we did these horrible atrocities.
Because like we came up with
this
this
mass
idea.
murderer was found.
Yeah, we came up with this idea, and I was like, yeah, you just type in like moments from the decade.
Yeah, like
and that was weirdly hard.
Notable events from the last decade, and it's like
nothing.
notable tech gadgets. It's like
so much tech
notable
shit.
Notable sports events.
Yeah, it was
I'm
just
like,
sports.
yeah, I was like, no, what happened culturally as a people?
Yeah, and then
as
you
a
do
society,
that, and they're like, that
what have we
plane went
done?
missing, and you're like, not this, like fun stuff. And they're like, nothing fun has happened this decade. You're thinking of 2000 to 2009, and hopefully 2020 to Xfinity. This is sponsored by Xfinity,
Internet?
by Comcast, and cable. Grossly overpriced. Comcast can go fuck itself with its dad's dick. How about that? It just gets shut down. The lights,
everything around us, the whole
our
grid
tops
goes
fly
offline.
off. Our tops.
Our dicks fly off like helicopters and spin around the room.
No,
we meant Xfinity.
So for 2010, for instance, I have no event from 2010.
Yeah,
I've not like nothing happened that year.
Yeah, it's like
I think maybe the first year of the decade, everyone's like, we don't know what to do.
We don't know what to do. Everyone's running around like chicken with their heads cut off.
I think everyone is as bad at procrastinating as we are. So they're like, we got a whole decade, and then
we'll figure it out.
2029 rolls around, and you're like, oh, I haven't done anything.
Oh no,
nothing's happened. So yeah, we have the song, album, movie, and yeah, I don't know what happened that year. Like literally.
Yeah,
nothing.
It seems like nothing really happened that year.
And then this year, I think there's another year where I have no notable events. So we'll talk about the years that didn't happen.
Year.
Yeah, I had biggest song was TikTok by Kesha.
Yeah, Kesha was huge.
Yeah, Kesha was. That's what I've realized. A lot of these, basically, the albums and the movies are all like ran by one genre. Basically, where you're
basically.
Like, okay, so
I remember specifically in December of 2009, I went to Cherryvale Mall and I bought Kesha's CD at Hot Topic with a Watchmen hoodie, and then I went and saw Avatar in 3D.
Well, we're not talking about 2009. That's dead and gone.
I know, but I'm saying I got her CD, and then she proceeded to blow up in 2010.
I don't even know if I sing that song for me. Give me a little.
Tick tock on the clock.
Okay, I know.
Bar.
I feel like I've heard that yesterday.
And the
That's
party
the
don't
thing.
start till I walk in.
Yeah, that plays every time I walk into a bar, and it's getting annoying. That's the one thing because what I was gonna do is pick like biggest songs and then other fun songs that have like stuck around, because it is crazy when you go. So that was a decade ago, and you still walk in like a sports
and
bar
you'll still
and
hear
you
it,
hear these songs. But then it became so many songs that I was like, this is just gonna be me reading songs off. And
Yeah, it's just songs that we all hear and listen to.
Because there's so many songs where I was like, that's that old now, and we're still like, that's just everywhere.
We're still banging that out.
Yeah,
10
like
years
we're
later.
never gonna have an episode of the podcast that people are just blasting.
10 years later, nobody's gonna be playing Death and Noodle Soup and saying this was the best episode.
I don't know if it was the best.
115.
But we're constantly confused. Yeah, we agree 115 is the best episode. Everything else is very confusing. We've gotten some year-end stats of the episodes you guys played the most, and we have no fucking clue.
We have no idea what you people want.
Yeah,
we have no idea what you think is funny.
Biggest album of the year was one that's in my heart, a soft spot for it. It's Recovery by Eminem. Mm-hmm. Is that what you had? Can we fact check this?
For 2010?
Yeah.
I actually found the album of that year. The Grammy winner was Fearless by Taylor Swift.
Okay. So did you do Grammy winners?
Yeah, because that's what I went for album of the year. Because I went.
So I went sales. So this will be a good.
So this will be interesting.
Yeah,
to see
this will make more
did
sense.
What.
So yeah, I went by. So all of mine is like the biggest seller, movies and music.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Eminem's fucking album apparently sold the most,
which is not surprising, but fuck Eminem.
No, but I mean back then I feel like people, was that an album where like he came back?
What was it?
Recovery? Is that like
no? That's when I thought Revival was the comeback.
I honestly have no idea. Why are they all something?
I don't know. Why is he always got to be coming back from something? Where is he going? What is he doing?
So yeah, we are huge fans of that album.
According to Nick Cannon, he's just out there, blowing a guy in a
I don't know what's
car.
worse with how much I hate Eminem. I traditionally also hate Nick Cannon.
Yeah, so
and it's just so sad.
Is this really how we're gonna end the decade and the year?
And that
Nick
makes
Cannon,
Eminem look
beef?
better because Nick Cannon, they've had beef. Mariah Carey had a diss song at Eminem. Like, come on. So yeah, there's not much to elaborate there. What was the Grammy winner? What did you say?
Fearless by Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
2010.
Ran a fucking decade. We'll get more into that or not. The movie was Toy Story 3.
Yes, I also have that. Toy Story 3 was the movie of the year, which is also weird to think about that was 2010 because Toy Story 4 just came out.
I know.
And I feel like it hasn't been that long since there was another Toy.
I think we're old.
But then I also thought I was also looking into it, and Frozen 2 just came out, and the first Frozen came out in 2012, I found out.
Yeah, I was like, these statistics.
I was like, no, there's no way that was that long ago. I also keep thinking you're drinking out of my bottle, even though mine's right there because it's the same bottle.
Yeah, I should have marked them differently.
Do a little bottle passy backsy, see who does what.
Speaking of Frozen, I came across the porno where the girl cosplays as the girl from Frozen.
Which one? Elsa? The one
with
the
main
hair?
Girl.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who is this for? Because I don't even feel comfortable watching the thumbnail skip around.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, what if you have kids? Are you like, this cartoon is super hot?
Yeah, are you like watching this with your kids thinking, man, I would love to be able to fuck these cartoon characters? I mean, hey, some people do.
If you have a kid and they like Frozen, you can't be jerking off to the Frozen porn.
No, there's like a weird
that's
like there's a step not removed in there somewhere that needs to be removed. So
watch
like if you're gonna jerk off to cartoons, don't jerk off to cartoons that your kids watch.
Yeah,
like
because how are you gonna seperate that?
Exactly.
Like I love the lady from Frozen.
Because what are you gonna do? Watch Frozen and sit there and get a boner on the couch with like kids sitting right there? Can you feel happy with yourself about that? Can you live with yourself getting a boner watching Frozen?
No, you shouldn't. And then, no notable events in 2010. Just a blank year of nothing.
Just happened.
Probably a bunch of sad shit. If you guys want the sad shit, Google it. It's plentiful. Sad shit and sports moments we won't be covering, but trust me, just pop onto the internet and they're everywhere.
I graduated high school in 2010.
And you were held back 4 years?
4 years, yeah.
So you did a regular 4 and then a double 4?
Yeah.
Kind of? Where you were just
4
super
for 4.
senior 4 times, so you failed each year.
Yeah, it was a 4 for 4 deal like at Wendy's.
Yeah. That was a long, we have a long 20-minute talk about the recent submersion. I don't know why my words have been off so bad.
I was going to say, what thesaurus have you been reading this week to try to prep up for this big factual episode?
Old one. The recent submersion of fast food places giving you things for things. You know what I mean? 4 for 4s, 3 for 3s.
Where's the 3 for 3 ad?
You got to go to a special McDonald's. I don't recommend it.
3 for 3?
Yeah, they give you 3 fries. That's fine.
I
5
asked
for
for
5?
2 large fries, and I got a bunch of fucking little ones.
What is that from?
It's just some meme or something I saw. But it made, for some reason, whenever I read it, I see Matt doing it in my head. Being at a restaurant, just standing on the counter, and I got a bunch of fucking little ones.
I just think of Steak and Shake.
All those tiny little bullshit fries.
That's when I feel like you should be like, excuse me.
I asked for 2 large fries, and I got a bunch of fucking, let's just start smashing them.
They're such
But make sure they're covered in ketchup first.
They're always covered in cheese when I get them.
Gotta
that
get
makes
them.
them look not
Or
so
you can
sad.
go to Steak and Shake and get the chili with the spaghetti for some reason.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
It's Cincinnati. Why is it a thing everywhere?
Yeah, fuck Cincinnati.
Fuck Cincinnati, Ohio specific. Fuck Ohio if we can be really
Ohio's
specific.
all right.
I've never been, but it sounds like shit.
I've been. Where's the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Ohio. Columbus?
Yeah. No.
Cincinnati?
Maybe. No, I don't think it's
What's
either
the
of those.
difference?
I don't care or no.
Gary, Indiana.
But I've been there too. Don't
go to Gary, no.
A man looked into my soul.
Isn't that where you turn into the alley and there was those children doing something and you had to like back out of the alley?
No, that was just over there.
Oh yeah, that's actually on the way to the show today.
No, it's like, I don't want to say the street because it's shitty, but no, in Gary, we would like turn down a road and like there were 2 kids walking. And this was after we'd seen a house that just had murder spray painted on the front of it. Not like a tag, just like written murder.
Wasn't this like you just went on like a day trip to Gary just to do it? Like if I'm remembering this correctly,
I'm really
right?
into urban exploration and the fact that like I want to do it so bad, but I don't because I get scared. Because like you'll go, like you see people that do it you go with the girl, fine. I'm urban exploring. I'm getting arrested. You know what I mean? I look like I'm
I would love it if
mischief.
we could do it, but there's no way.
It's like one of my favorite things, but it scares me. But in Gary, I've like seen so many, like there's a church there. That was my specific thing. There's a church and you just like walk in because the whole back of it's like fucking gone and it's beautiful. Like it looks super pretty. And then there's like a bunch of cool graffiti and it just like, I love the juxtaposition of like rubble with like a beautiful church. That was one of the main things. I followed a page that had all this shit and graffiti stuff. And I went there not thinking it was that bad because a lot of things in life aren't as bad as they're portrayed.
Right.
This is worse. Like, people should have been like, no. And we found the church and like after being there, I was like, well, I don't want to just be in a building. And then like everywhere is just like that also. Like that's what they don't tell you. But yeah,
like,
there was some boarded up houses and like everything. Like it looks like you wouldn't believe it unless you go, and I don't recommend it. But yeah, there were two kids and we drove by them after looking at the house that said murder. And the one just smiled and looked right into my eyes. Like a smile like you are in the wrong place. Yeah. And yeah, there was a weird thing where we turned down and then you weren't supposed to go back. And we were like, I'm going back. Fuck this. It's a fucking crazy place. So yeah, jump ahead to 2011. Biggest song I had, Rollin' in the Deep by Adele.
Mm-hmm. That lines up with the... Let's see, where is it?
I have Album of the Year as 21 by Adele, which I'm assuming is the Grammy winner as well. She really had a...
In 2011?
Yeah.
See, she won actually... with the way the albums get released, that one won for 2012.
Well, yeah, because I had 2012. She also sold the most.
Yeah.
Like she sold the most 2 years in a row. Like a gross amount.
I remember because that album just kept selling and selling.
I remember buying it for my mom. I never really listened to it.
Well, because I remember that came out when I was working at Walmart. And there was like so many boxes of it that came in, and it was just everywhere, and you couldn't go anywhere.
It sold like an insane amount, like the bestseller of 2 years in a row, like a gross amount.
But the Grammy album of the year for 2011 was "The Suburbs" by Arcade Fire.
I have no idea of that album.
Which I do know that album. I like bought it and listened to it, and I was like, it's okay.
You're part of the problem.
Yeah, I was part of the problem.
Enough people saying this is just okay.
I don't even think I bought it. I think I actually shoplifted it because this was back in the day when I had a big old kleptomania problem, and I.
Yes, the kleptomania fit of 2011.
Thus the
one
kleptomania.
of my notable events.
But yeah, I remember listening to it, and I'm like, but I feel like this happens a lot with the Grammys, where like they pick an album for album of the year, and you're like, why is this album of the year? Like, this isn't that
horrible
good to listen to, especially when you look at all the other nominations for what the album of the year could be. They always pick traditionally the shittiest one,
like when Jethro Tull won like metal album of the year.
The first metal Grammy ever was Jethro Tull.
That's so insane.
And he was just as confused as everyone else up on stage when he did this speech.
I shouldn't be here.
I should be dead. Ozzy Osbourne should be getting this.
Yeah, wasn't he up against Metallica?
I think he was. Yeah, can you imagine
like their album that is one of the best-selling albums of all time?
Can you imagine?
It still sells like weirdly well.
Yeah, when's the last time you listened to a Jethro Tull song?
I don't know. I'm not a big fan of flutes. Wasn't that what they did a lot?
Oh yeah, flutes and two drummers.
I love more drummers.
Just like
two's not enough
just
in
like
my
the
opinion.
Doobie Brothers.
Yeah, I saw the Doobie Brothers live.
Yeah,
but it wasn't in this decade.
My dad also saw the Doobie Brothers.
Yeah, we were at the same show.
He talked about how much he loved the two drummers.
I don't even remember there being two drummers. My specific thing was that we had great lawn seats at Davis Park for, I think, on the waterfront. The bell explodes. And it was earlier in the day before the Doobie Brothers, and there was two large older men smoking weed directly in front of my family, and my dad lost his shit and was like yelling at them, and they were like, "We're gonna keep doobing it out, bro." It's the Doobie Brothers.
He doob it out quite a lot.
And he had the funniest thing that I'll never forget is he had to like walk all the way down to the other end and come down their road to like confront them. You know what I mean?
He couldn't just hopped over.
Well, yeah, there was a ton. It was early in the day. But yeah, he like made the point, and I mean, you shouldn't give him that much time because that whole walk, we do this too, where you're like, I'm gonna be so angry by the time I get over there.
Yeah, because by the time you're done with the walk, you've had enough time to walk and get your blood pumping, and then you're hot and thinking about it.
That's my Doobie Brother story, folks. Movie of the year, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2.
Yep.
I've never seen a Harry Potter movie.
I
This is
saw
just going to be
the
us out of
first-
touch.
Yeah,
in
out of touch
this
with
decade.
everything.
When we were younger. The youngest we've ever been, you could say.
Some might say.
Well, not the youngest we've ever been, I
But the
guess.
youngest we
I was
could have
born
been.
in 2010.
Oh,
I'm
how
9.
shocking.
Think of all the things you've done with me, and I'm 9. Nothing sexual, but close.
Very close.
Too inappropriate
Had that
for a
consensual
9-year-old.
handhold.
Yeah. Well,
had
that
that-
was for a prank.
We had that drunken kiss.
That never happened.
That did happen.
No, that was a fever dream, and you keep talking
No,
about it in
happened.
such great
I remember it because I
detail.
remember it.
No.
Kissed all of you.
No. And then a few things I have written down. One, the hit of the decade, we can say, Friday by Rebecca Black.
Yes.
Which is such an insane thing that happened. And I feel like that was like the first like crazy viral song.
Yeah,
You know what I
'cause
mean?
It was one of those things that like blew up and like we're all wondering like why is this popular?
Yeah, why is this
happening?
And it was so prevalent because of like social
And then
media.
didn't it turn out that like the guy who produced it, like the guy who has the
Didn't
weird,
like Fridays.
no, the weird verse in the song. Remember, there was like the black guy that had the verse.
Yeah, I think, because I remember there was like a regular version that was like just her. And then there
well,
was
because
like
it turns out he's produced like a ton of Rebecca Blacks. Like he's
Yeah.
tried to constantly like make pop
Well,
stars,
yeah, you
but
gotta-
then he does
I've
like
been working on
features
it.
on the songs that he
course.
produces.
You
I
gotta
don't
get yours
understand.
done. That was just like, I love things that like are bad and we're all like, this is bad and catchy, so we're gonna embrace it.
Kind of
for
like
some
that
reason.
really bad guy on American Idol.
Yeah, what was that guy's name? Chung?
Something.
That
He kept
felt
saying, "She
offensive if I
banged,
was
she
saying-
banged."
Yeah. Was that in this decade?
No, it
nothing's
wasn't.
been in
Nothing
this
good is
decade.
from this decade.
Not even David Chang. I feel
That's
bad
not his
saying
name.
it because I feel
I'm not.
I feel
Yeah,
like
I'm
it's
not
close,
even,
but
it's David something.
yeah, I feel like I just sound racist.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna move along. Rebecca Black, I just remember that. And that was the first thing that I found that made me be like, holy shit, it has been a long decade, which is a stupid statement because they're always the same amount of time. But like, I remember where I was when I heard that.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, that feels like a long time
I know
ago.
I brought this up to you, but I don't know if I mentioned it on the show.
You shouldn't.
There is a video somewhere deep in the depths of YouTube of me and a bunch of guys.
Someone's gonna fucking
find it.
You got to take a lot of stuff off the internet.
Me and a bunch of guys at a park doing an acoustic cover of Friday by Rebecca Black because we were all supposed to do a show at Bethesda, I believe.
God,
This has been
no
a
one
long
is enjoying
decade.
this.
And the show got canceled. Like we weren't allowed to like play there that day, so we all ended up going to that.
Because they heard what you did in the park. They
Yeah.
also put out a thing with the cops that said that's a gay park now.
Oh,
You know how some parks are gay
interesting.
parks?
Yeah, like specifically.
Everywhere. Like, that's always been so funny to me. When I was a kid, and they're like, don't go to Alpine Park by yourself, which I didn't go to parks by myself.
I remember
But
walking
they're
by.
like, they're cruising in Alpine
I
Park.
remember me and my
It's
dad
just
would go on
you and your
night-
friends singing Friday, and they're like, this park is no good anymore.
No, I remember me and my dad walking really late at night at Shorewood Park in Loves Park, and there was just a car driving around in a circle.
Yeah, I think we've told this.
Yeah, and he's just like,
He's
just
just
a
like,
poor-
goddamn cruisers, and then he comes back once he takes you home.
Yeah.
He's like, no, they're gone. Like when there's a hot girl at the bar that you're hitting it off really well with, but your friend's drunk, and you're like, I gotta take him home real quick. I'll be right back. And you're doing 60 and a 35, and you're like, get the fuck out of the car. And you get back, and they're like, oh, she just left with some other guy. And you're like, God damn it! If you didn't throw up in my car, we could have been back here. I could have fucked that girl. Why'd you have to go and fuck that cop?
she didn't. Oh man, now it's getting too specific. Now it's getting way too specific.
That was probably around this time.
That was like
later.
20. Yeah, that was. Yeah, actually, I don't want to put a timestamp on it.
wouldn't recommend
This
it.
whole episode is just us redacting things.
Yeah.
We're just like
Add a long
redact it.
Yeah, so whoever makes the transcript, make sure to do those big black lines too. Just most of it. It's what my it's what my medical
Fuck that cop in
term
an Uncle
looks-
Nick's bathroom, didn't she?
Okay, that was. I thought we were done getting specific.
No. Because now I'm thinking about it, and I can't stop
shouldn't.
thinking about it.
Another 2011 perfect thing.
Guffaw.
Planking.
That was 2011? I
2011.
could have swore I was in high school when that was a thing. Like a young man when that was a thing.
No, you just had to lay down because you were lazy all the time. It was different.
That sounds about right.
Well, they said that was the other thing is there's a lot of these where it was like hard to pinpoint when it was most prevalent. Because, like, I kept seeing twerking. People were like, twerking's
been around.
Great. I'm like, twerking has been around
Shaking your ass has been around for thousands of years.
Yeah, they're like, it was in, I found something that was like, it specifically started in the late 70s, early 80s in New Orleans. And I was like, now I know where twerking came from. This is never going to come
Get a time
up.
machine. Go back to 70s New Orleans. Witness the first twerk.
Oh, could you imagine?
How wonderful. Yeah, somebody saw it and they didn't even appreciate it for what it was.
It probably shocked people.
Yeah, they saw the twerk and they were like, arrest her. She's a witch.
Everyone's looking up at boobs instead of an ass. That was because no one liked asses until like
recently.
The early 2000s is when asses started coming back in. Yeah, I don't think I have it on here, but also yoga pants. Definitely.
Yeah,
I kept seeing people say it and I was like, yeah, that was about the time. Like early 2010s. I remember yoga pants coming out and you're like, what is this?
Yoga pants with the Uggs and the big old sweater on top.
Yeah. So if we didn't get anything good in the 2010s, we got yoga pants or whatever you want, leggings, whatever.
We got yoga pants and blonde. I feel like that's everything I needed out of the 2010s.
They go hand in hand. I put mine on when I listen to blonde. My ass is looking fat.
Is that why I get so horny when I listen to blonde? Because I know you're so. Because
we
our
all
brains
do.
are connected.
We get horny about the past. That didn't work out.
Yeah, we all get horny about the past and put on yoga pants and listen to blonde about it.
And my time was right.
Just rubbing my legs, feeling how thick my fucking thighs are in it.
Fuck yeah.
Just bouncing them around a little bit, looking in the mirror, twerking a little bit. I'm like, oh, I wish this was the 70s.
In New Orleans.
In New Orleans.
Early 70s, yeah, you would be prosecuted.
On Bourbon Street.
But yeah, planking was like that's what I found most of. Heads up, if you want to tune out of this episode now, is the weird, stupid things we did for a big period of time out of each year. And planking was one where, I was even like, why are we doing this?
Yeah, I don't even recall wanting to plank. I remember seeing everybody doing it, and I'm like, that was, I think that may have been the first viral trend where I was like, why?
Yeah.
Like, why are we doing this?
And then the people who would like fall to their deaths planking. Imagine R.I.P. to all our fallen soldiers that tried to plank in a big funny place.
R.I.P. everyone who died this decade memeing something.
Yeah, well, there's other ones.
Just a huge list. It's like a wall of Vietnam soldiers that's been lost. All the fucking kids we lost on memeing.
I was gonna look up, and we might need to fill time on this. People who died in this decade.
Yeah, I tried that, and I was
everybody.
Turns out everyone died this decade.
It seems like a lot of people have died. But I was trying to think of like notable people that died, and there's still a bunch of those.
Turns out there's notable people.
We can
that
just
I've
do
never
a fast at the end. We'll just flutter off the list of
just catch the ones we see really quick. We're just mashing names together. David Bergstein. I don't know.
Lemmy from Motorhead.
Oh,
that's for some reason when people are like, "Who's died in the last 10 years?" I'm like, Lemmy from Motorhead. That's just my go-to. I don't know why. Yeah, that's like a more important one probably to a lot of people. I prefer Lemmy over David Bowie because he's had a questionable past.
Yeah,
the milk and the peppers. Not
what's
the
up with that? Somebody talk to me about it.
So yeah, planking was just weird, and I feel like that's probably one of the weirdest ones. Looking at my list and just knowing.
Wasn't the cinnamon challenge this past decade?
Yeah, we'll get into it. I got them here. I got some ones that I think we've forgotten about because I'd forgotten until. And then the only other notable thing I have for 2011 is the birth of YOLO. As far as YOLO,
really,
the song YOLO by Drake and Lil Wayne came out. Wasn't it Drake and Lil Wayne?
Was it
Drake and Rick Ross?
I think it was Drake and Rick Ross.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah. Drake.
Oh, they're dead.
Yeah, that doesn't matter because no one died.
Yeah.
But a bunch of people died YOLOing.
Yeah, apparently.
That's definitely true. Didn't that one guy like YOLO and did like 100 and crashed into a wall?
I think so, yeah.
And it was live streaming.
Can you imagine that's the last thing you say before you die is YOLO?
YOLO. Could you imagine wearing a YOLO shirt in 2019?
Can you imagine saying YOLO in 2019 in all seriousness and then doing something stupid?
I forget the song exists until like I'm out somewhere and it plays, and then you're like, oh yeah, we like really latched onto this.
What would you do if we were out at like at a bar, like we were after the Pew show, like
YOLOing?
that bar, and we see like a group of people all take a big old shot and just go YOLO and then take a shot? Seriously?
I would assume the police are
I would assume the police are inbound and we need to get the fuck out of here.
I assume that is the police.
That's like a bunch of cops.
Yeah, if someone takes a shot and says YOLO, I'm like, that's a narc.
YOLO, who has MDMA?
Yeah. It's called Molly, idiot.
Fucking narcs. Nice Minions book bag and then shove them over.
How long do you think it takes until we can wear a ironic YOLO shirt, though? When do you think
it's
that
gonna
comes
be?
around?
I think it's gonna have
30s?
to. I think it's got to be like 20 years after the event.
All right, you heard it here first. 2031. Break out your YOLO shirts.
Break out your YOLO shirts, and it'll be hilarious. Also, dress up in all your Camp Flog Gnaw gear for nostalgia.
Yeah, there was something I really wanted to wait to be ironic. Maybe like swag shirts. I feel like that was that whole era. Swag and YOLO.
Shutter Shades again, ironically.
Oh, that's going to come up sooner. That was like 07, 08?
Yeah, whenever the Stronger video came out.
Yeah, 07.
Not this decade.
Yeah, everything good happened there. We didn't have any fashionable sunglasses trends this year. Disgusting.
Vile.
Yeah.
Shameful.
What are we supposed to do? You mean I can't wear glasses that obstruct my entire fucking vision?
You mean I'm not supposed to wear something that looks so cool for a year?
When can I wear 2 polos again?
When can I wear overalls with the legs cut off? When can I wear a jean jacket with the sleeves cut off?
Yes, I've been trying to figure that out. So yeah, that was 2011. That's it. Planking and YOLO while listening to Rebecca
YOLO.
Black.
Yeah.
What is she doing? How much money do you think she made? That's all I ever want to know. What shit like that?
How much money she made?
She probably got a big fat check and doesn't have to do shit. And when people are like, "Are you Rebecca Black?" She's like, "Yeah," and I have like $10 million. So
yeah, I wonder what she does now.
Just sits back and because I'm sure that song still makes money somehow. I guarantee.
There's got to be like kids somewhere streaming it on like a Kids Bop channel or something or like just, that. You know.
I want to know. Look on Spotify. How many is that shit on Spotify?
I can't imagine it's not.
See how many streams that fucker has and how much hers is a month. Because this is what like baffles me and interests me more than anything. Like people who have like something that made them a bunch of money, and if they were able to like stay relevant, and then when you see songs, how much they've still been played. Like I would not be
not what you would think.
7 million. 7.
Friday.
7, just 7.
Friday has 8,394,508 plays.
That's pretty close.
But she averages 218,000. Oh no.
Nope.
Copyright.
Yeah.
Copyright. 679 monthly listeners.
That seems like too much.
She's also put out 3 singles this year.
Oh, so she's making a comeback. How does she look? Is she in them? She looked. How old was she? Okay, she's kind of hot.
I mean, well, should we redact that until we figure out how old she is?
She put out Friday almost a decade ago.
When she was 10?
I'm gonna say, yeah, unless she was a child, I'm pretty safe in my bet.
Listen,
she turns out to be 16.
Oh, I got some bad news for you, bud. I got some real bad news for you, but she's 13.
12. They always get me.
No, she is 22. She was born in 97.
So she's 22 now. So
yeah,
she was. Oh, we can't do math, but she was younger than I thought when she made that song.
Here's a picture of her in 2011.
Oh my God, yeah, she looked like a freak.
Looking like a freakish child.
So yeah, she got a little hot because of the money. Good for her. Shout out to Rebecca Black.
I think I'm seeing some numbers on here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hold on. In late 2010, a classmate of Black and music video client, Black's mother paid U.S. $4,000, equivalent to $4,596 in 2018, for Arc Music to produce the music video while the Blacks retained ownership of both the master and the video. The single Friday, written entirely by Arc, was released on YouTube. Received approximately 1,000 views in the first month. The video went viral March 11th of 2011.
Mm-hmm.
I saw numbers. Thought it was going to say how much money she made.
Yeah, they probably don't put her business on blast, but someone fact check it, how much money she made.
In 2011, Arc Music Factory started charging $2.99 to watch the music video on YouTube.
Bold choice. That didn't pay out, probably. Imagine paying $3 to watch Friday by Rebecca Black.
Yeah, we all chipped in at the park to watch the video.
That was before Venmo.
Yeah, that was before Venmo. We actually had to take some guy's word for it that he was going to pay us back at the show later.
And then he never did. All right, let's go on to 2012. I have the biggest song as Somebody That I Used to Know by Goat Ye.
Yeah, remember when that shit blew
was
up?
Insane. That's what I mean. I feel like Friday was like the first viral thing I remember being like insane. And then every year after that, something has been more and more viral to where now everything is viral.
Yeah, I remembered because, God, I just remember that because it was that video of him like being painted or something like that. And I didn't think it was that good of a song.
I loved that song.
Like, it was okay, but I didn't think it was big enough to be like a viral blow out of the water.
Got ran into the ground so immediately, but I did. That's probably out of all of the songs we're gonna say, one that I enjoyed possibly the most.
Out of all the viral songs, it's probably the most enjoyable.
And again, like I wonder what the fuck happened to them or him or whatever.
He's still doing stuff from what I understand.
Because he had done stuff before that just happened to be that.
Yeah, I think it's just that one song really just blew up for him, and it's just one of those things where it's like you get the one song, and then everything else you do is just kind of obscure, and nobody gives a shit, you know?
Yeah, imagine being the biggest Goat Ye fan.
Yeah, you go to a Goat Ye concert just to hear him play that at the very end. And you're like, I sat through 14 songs just to hear that. I didn't even know any of these.
And album of the year is Red by Taylor Swift. But like I said, also 21 by Adele just kept selling into oblivion.
21 by Adele was the Grammy winner for that year.
Beautiful. Well. Movie of the year was The Avengers,
which I remember seeing in theaters. If we want to set the 2012 mood, driving to go see The Avengers at Showplace 16 with my sister, listening to N-Words in Paris by Watch the Throne, which had recently dropped and we were all about.
Yeah, I mean, everybody was.
Yeah. So that's how I would define 2012 in my memory, is just that song and then going to see The Avengers. And I remember being...
That pretty much sums it up.
I remember everybody being like, oh my God, it's all the superheroes in one movie. Can you finally believe it?
Yeah, just wait till we talk about the other movies of this decade. Yeah. It's just all the...
Just shows that people just want the same regurgitated bullshit all the time.
Weird. Another highlight of 2012, Gangnam Style.
Yes. Is that still the highest video on YouTube?
I don't know.
Still with the most, because I remember at the time it like broke records for like streaming records.
I feel like there's a Justin Bieber video that's like up there too with that.
Yeah.
Like there's a bunch of weird shit, but yeah.
And then he disappeared into obscurity. Like nobody ever heard from him again.
Got the bag and left.
But I mean, apparently he's huge over there. He's huge over in the Koreas, but he like that was just that one worldwide. It's like it was the Despacito of 2012. Yeah, some may say.
I never liked that song or understood.
I liked it when I first heard it.
You sang it in a park with friends, different friends.
Yeah,
my friend groups revolved around a topical song of the time.
Isn't that what all of our friend groups are? Isn't that our
you don't
friend
like
group?
To hear it.
Isn't that our
you don't like
friend
someone
group?
To point it out in front
you don't
of
like someone to put it in plainclothes English like that, make you question everything you do.
Also Coney. You remember Coney?
Coney 2012, how we had to stop Coney.
We were gonna stop that man and nothing happened.
And then that guy went crazy and like jerked off in public in like LA.
Really ruined everything.
Yeah, from the stress. He just couldn't take the stress of having to stop Coney.
Yeah.
Do you try to stop an African warlord from taking children and putting him in his private army, and the stress breaks you and you have to publicly masturbate about it?
It happens.
2012 was wild. That's when the world really, because the world was allegedly going to end in 2012.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Yeah. You're getting too ahead of yourself here. There's plenty of 2012 for
Welch is getting to me.
Yo, Welch, just call us. Please call us. We keep calling you. It's late, and it says, there's no one in the Welch's office.
We're somehow drunk off your non-alcoholic product.
These are very old. I let them ferment.
Oh, shit. No wonder they taste like shit.
Yeah, the Coney thing was insane because people would make their Facebook
profile
people were
pictures.
About like it. I thought we were going to. This was like a good example. Like, because when I was a kid, like a teenager, I really thought I was going to change the world, and then it doesn't happen, and then I gave up, and I've never thought about it again. But Coney, I was like, oh, we're really going to stop this guy that I have zero information about, and I don't know why
just
we're
that
like
weird,
really
sweaty picture of him that was floating
and he's
around
like bad to kids. I don't really get it, but I
don't know what's happening, but we're stopping this guy.
We're done with this guy.
This guy, I've never heard of him, but he is he's canceled.
I feel like one day you go on Facebook, and they're like, we got to stop Coney, and you're like, shit, we should. And then everyone's like, we're going to fucking stop him. And then a month later, everyone's like, we might have stopped him. No one really knows.
I feel like we should do a social experiment. Let's just invent a guy and just start putting it on Facebook. Be like, we have to stop
I got
Slim.
the perfect. Yeah. I was already in my head, saw the flyer.
Yeah.
Like, stop Slim.
We gotta stop Slim, and everybody's like, well, yeah, we do gotta stop Slim.
Yeah, you have to.
We have to market it just right to be like, remember Coney? Here's
his
Coney. Here's Coney Part 2, Electric Boogaloo, and then it's me sneezing.
Yeah, don't see you like in your dry lips.
Oh, me smacking my mouth when I wake up.
We also, I had one that I had forgotten about. That's ridiculous. T-bowing. You remember T-bowing?
Oh, God, yeah. Oh, fuck.
Why was that a thing?
Because Tim Tebow was huge for some reason.
Yeah, but like, just basically pray.
Yeah, just basically getting in a prayer position or a proposal position. Hope you didn't
or a blowjob position.
Yeah, hope you didn't T-blow at the wrong time.
Oh, imagine your engagement was you T-bowing.
Oh, like you were just T-bowing. And
imagine,
she's like, yes.
Imagine, and well, obviously.
And she sticks her dick in your mouth.
Oh, no, it's the perfect proposal.
Everything
None of us
went
can
wrong. No, everything's bad.
She said yes, and I said.
She said yes, and then I felt my tonsils get bruised.
Yeah, don't make your engagement a topical meme. probably.
Maybe.
Unless you're two dorks that shouldn't get
I would say or.
We also had the cinnamon challenge that you alluded to.
Yes, I do. I remember doing that. Yeah.
I never did that. I honestly don't know if I did any of these things now that we
I did
back.
the cinnamon challenge.
That was pretty cool.
I remember I did it because I was like, it can't be that bad. And then you immediately figure out it's that bad.
I would think I would have done it, but I wasn't like really around people.
Kids fucking breathing in cinnamon like a bunch of more. Yeah,
in
of course we
2012.
were. Yeah. Oh, God,
grotesquely hammered.
Yeah, 2012, Christ. I was getting smashed on Ice House that my girlfriend was buying at the gas station across the street because she was old. You hate to live through it, but you have to. Yeah. You know, everybody's got to live through it.
And then, of course, traditionally, we had the end of the world.
Yeah. What was that? It was supposed to be in May or something like that?
I thought it was December. This is why it didn't happen. None of us could coordinate.
No, I think it was supposed to happen in May because I remember, like, even in the back of my mind, I was like, just like that
you always do.
Teensy bit afraid that, like, what if it actually does happen, you know? And I remember...
Yeah, publicly I'm like, it's a bunch of bullshit. Privately I'm like, oh my God, if it happens, I haven't lived.
I know, because like I remember it. I was like, I'm so young. What if I was like, what if there's actually something to this and I actually die? And then I remember I was doing something. I was doing something with my mom, helping her cater something, like an event or something. And I was at the place and I like looked outside and the sun was setting and the sky was kind of pink. And I was like, is this the last sunset I'm ever going to see? Because the world's going to fucking end and I'm catering an event today. I'm not even getting laid.
Yeah, you should have lost your mind and stripped down and jerked off because of the pressure.
Yeah.
Coney style, baby.
Yeah, Coney style. That's what caused the apocalypse.
I got a Coney dog for you.
Well, because then it didn't happen. Because I actually looked into this a little bit because he said it was going to end in May. Then it didn't happen. And then he backpedaled and said that was a spiritual rapture where your soul got judged. The actual rapture was coming in December.
Yeah, people who call the end of the world love to backpedal as soon as it doesn't happen, which I think you have to.
Yeah, because what else do you do?
It happens all the time.
You either kill yourself or backpedal. There's no way around it.
And you should have to kill yourself.
If you
make this much of a fuss,
I will agree with you on
like,
this.
We are very anti-suicide, and if you have suicidal thoughts, life is always worth living. Reach out to someone, not us. We can't help you. We can't. We'll make it worse somehow. Be like, actually, you're making some valid points. Let's kill ourselves together. But yeah, if you predict the end of the world and it catches on, you gotta do something.
Yeah, and it doesn't happen.
Murder, suicide, whatever.
Yeah,
kill a bunch of people. Heaven's Gate, something like that.
You can't make jokes about Jim Jones because the punchline's too long.
Wow, good one. And it was actually, what the fuck was it? It's not Kool-Aid. What is it? What's Flavor Aid?
Was it Flavor Aid?
Yeah, it's traditionally like not Kool-Aid. Oh. That's like the biggest thing. It's like everybody. It's not
you mean Kool-Aid. The Jonestown purists are out here screaming about how it's Flavor Aid and not Gatorade?
Well, yeah, because there's so many Kool-Aid junks, or just the don't drink the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, don't drink the Kool-Aid.
And it's Flavor Aid. They couldn't even splurge for Kool-Aid.
You're killing people and you can't.
Flavor Aid. You ever listen to that audio of everyone dying?
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's rough.
Yeah, it's fun.
Rather listen to that than go through 2012 again. Am I right?
Well, actually, to top it off, since the world didn't end in 2012, we met.
We did.
I
was going to make that point.
Great. You're really making a solid point. Instead of the world ending, so the world ended. You were the end of my world.
Yeah. That's what it was. The world ended because we met each other. And that's when everything started going downhill.
Yeah. So 2012.
That's crazy to me. Because I was thinking about it. Because I was like, yeah, we definitely met this decade. And then I was thinking about it. I was like, wow, 7 years we've been friends.
It was October of 2012.
Yep. Because we started working and you came in and I was like, this piece of shit ain't gonna make it. And then
like this.
And then you surpassed all of us.
Yes.
And you got that video of me falling in the back.
I didn't have a video.
I swear there's a video.
No.
I swear I saw a video of something.
There's that crazy. I thought so hard that you could see it.
There's that crazy picture of us.
Yeah, there's that.
That's out there somewhere. Where
it's on. I think it's on my desktop
is it?
right now.
I feel like we should share it when we share this episode about the decade.
We should, if I can find it. I have two pictures of us. Well, I have a picture of us and a picture of you saved on my desktop for some reason. The picture of us is when we went back to that place when we randomly hung out one day. And we
I also have these pictures. Yeah.
The other one is this.
Oh wow! What? Oh no!
Because I was
that's so bad.
I was specifically looking for a much worse photo that you had Snapchatted me.
Is it the one with the milk?
And I know it's somewhere.
Somebody's got it somewhere.
I have it on this computer.
I have it on my computer at home.
Well, yeah, we need to make big printout posters of that. Your dedication to a joke. That's why I knew this would work. You know what I mean?
My dedication to a joke. Yeah, I still remember taking that milk picture because I remember sitting on my couch in the shitty apartment I lived in on Revelle Street at the time, and I was like, he'll appreciate this, and then I just took a...
Yeah. It was one of the most shocking Snapchats I've ever opened.
That's why God made Snapchat, which didn't exist at the beginning of the decade.
We'll go through at the end all the things that didn't exist that exist now.
I got a hefty list.
Yeah. Moving on to 2013, the biggest song, a little thing called Thrift Shop by Macklemore.
God, I remember.
That was fucking everywhere.
I remember.
I saw it played live for what he said was the first time at Soundset.
Which is highly possible.
I was a Macklemore fan, and this was before any of this. And he was like, I got a new song for you. It's called Thrift Shop. And he played it, and I was like, wow, that's a really fun song. Like, all of us, is one of those where you turn around and you're like, this is crazy.
Like, this is good, yeah.
And then I never in a million years imagined that it would grow to whatever the fuck happened.
A vivid memory I have of that song is having one of those really bad nights that I was having around this time.
Huge orgy.
Yeah. Just getting way too drunk and fucked up all the time. And I remember being hung over driving my shitty little Dodge Neon that only the brights worked on and popping a CD my friend burned me of like his favorite songs that came out that year.
It was
Thrift Shop was it was the first one on there.
Of course it was.
And I'm like hung over in the car and I pop it in and it's like, I'm gonna pop sometime.
I remember waiting for it to come out because it was one of those things where you see it live and you're like, when the fuck is this gonna come out?
Yeah.
And then being here and me and Matt being like, it's out, and watching that video and being like,
that
wow,
video
this is incredible. Like, and then it just became one of those things that's been ruined by like what people
countless
did to
overplaying and the
like
jokes and the
hearing
memes
it. You'll
and
still
the
hear it at a wedding or something. You'll be like, no,
no,
stop.
I've had enough of this song.
We're over it. It was in 2013. The album of the year was the 2020 Experience by Justin Timberlake.
Which is odd to think about.
Yeah, I don't even remember a song from that or like anything about that. I'm sure I would know.
The 2013 Grammy-winning album was Babel by Mumford & Sons.
Wow, those Grammys are
it gets worse as this list goes on.
Sure,
so don't you? Until this past year when it was a great album that won.
Yeah, because they got a bunch of people on the Grammy board to fix
whatever
the mockery
was wrong.
The existence of the Grammys. The movie of the year was Frozen.
Yeah, which continued to be the movie of the decade apparently.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
I held off for as long as I could. It's not as bad as everybody makes it sound. It's just the overexposure. It's just the everything out there about it. That like once you finally do watch it, and if you haven't seen it yet, you're just kind of like, I know all these characters. I've seen them everywhere. I know all this shit. Like it's still
a lot of things.
It's good, but I'm not like this isn't like worth putting like water bottles and fucking pregnancy tests with Elsa. They got to be out there. I hate
peeing on those. I pee on the snowman ones.
They're so cold.
Very cold.
Cold never bothered me anyway, is what it says right on the box.
And the only notable viral shit from that year, I had Harlem Shake.
Yeah, that was a thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, a weird. That's what I mean. Yeah, you think back and you're like, none of these are. I don't even understand how it happens because the Harlem Shake is incredibly old.
Yeah.
And then it just got the remix and then everybody just shook in videos about it.
2013 was the year my heart almost exploded.
Well, maybe 2023 it'll finally do the job.
We'll see. Maybe on its 10th year anniversary it'll come back from the dead and kill me.
Yeah, so 1 year of knowing me made your heart explode.
Yeah.
Longer than most.
How's that make you feel?
Good. Powerful.
It was just so
like
full of, it was just so full of love and you wouldn't accept it. It blew up.
Oh, I thought it was so full of double pneumonia.
Yeah, that too.
And no one allowing you to stop working.
Yeah, that was the crazy part.
The wheezing was remarkable. And you're still asking for cigarettes?
Yeah, me and still us walking out to your car, me having to stop and lean on shelves because I can't catch my fucking breath.
Remember moving that long table, whatever those tables are?
Yeah, God. And I I acted like I was
forced up. Yeah, to the point where I was like, this guy's being kind of a bitch. This can't be this bad. I've had pneumonia before.
No, it was.
I had a funny X-ray when I had pneumonia because I was holding in a fart when the doctor came in and X-rayed me, and then my mom was like, "What's this huge bubble?" And he goes, "That's just gas."
Yeah, it's just a fart.
And I told her right before the door opened, I was like, "I'm gonna let out a fart." And then I seen when you hear the door handle, and you always panic in a doctor's office because you're like, "Here comes the doctor!" finally. God. So I sucked a fart in. And
what kind of doctor is it going to be as they're walking in the door?
Yeah, old white man. My least favorite doctor.
Yeah, that's not
where
the one you
never
want.
The big-breasted, skimpy-clad babes.
Girl who just graduated from med school. You're her first patient.
Yeah, she is more liberal with the gas.
Oops.
Yeah, not like the lady who
drops a rubber glove and bends over to get it, and she's wearing a spicy red thong underneath a short doctor's coat and nothing else.
No, I'm like, I know what's gonna happen here, and then nothing, just a regular medical exam.
And then she sticks that weird cold pointy thing in my ear to look at my ears.
She's like, you have a lot of earwax, and I'm like, yeah, what am I supposed to do? I clean them out, but you act like I sit around just focusing hard to produce more earwax.
You act like I just sit here with the earbuds in my ear all day, just letting the sweat and the skin turn into earwax.
Last time I got an X-ray, I did get like my knee, and it was that whole debacle, and then they would refuse to cover up my junk, and I was like, I think this has, and then she came and just threw a heavy like sandbag on my crotch.
Yeah,
and was like,
that's
cover
basically
it up.
what it is.
Like, come on, it's my beautiful little penis. 2014 biggest song, "Happy" by Pharrell, which I'm sure no one's heard.
No.
That doesn't really come up that often. Album of the year, 1989 by Taylor Swift. Very confusing.
In 2014?
Yeah.
Weird. Because it won Grammy of the Year 2 years later.
The Grammys are crazy. Or one of our stats are completely fucked. I'm open for both.
The Grammy album of the year in 2014 was Random Access Memories by Daft Punk.
Okay.
Because I remember that was the summer Happy blew up, and then Pharrell was on that Get Lucky song.
Oh, yeah.
So Pharrell was all over the fucking radio, no matter where you went or what you did. And I remember being so goddamn frustrated because I was going through rehab for the heart shit to like get my medicine right and learn how to walk again, and drugs. Yeah. And I remember just every time I was at the fucking facility to do the exercises. If you feel like a room without a roof, because I'm happy I'm alone. If you know what happiness is to you, because
it's catchy.
And then
Did he get in a bunch of trouble for that? Was that
No,
song?
He got in trouble for Blurred Lines.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was all right.
Thicke.
You know what's the crazy thing about the decade? Pharrell finally looks a little old at the end of the decade.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, all the stress from the Marvin Gaye trial really.
Yeah,
all that stress of being associated with Robin Thicke really just made things worse.
Or, another fun topical reference of the 2010s, Miley Cyrus twerking and Robin Thicke.
Yeah.
Wow.
Whoa. What
when twerking was invented, I believe.
I think I was actually in the hospital when that happened.
You're going to say, I think I was actually in the crowd.
No.
Like those little pit of people that always looks like they're just fucking cramped in there. And you're like, I love going to shows, but I could never be in the little live TV performance pit.
Because I remember I was like laying in the hospital because I would watch VH1 every morning and watch all the music videos, and they were all bullshit. Everything was bullshit back then. Old. And I remember it was like the VH1 Music Awards that night, and so it's basic cable in the hospital. Right. There's nothing else to watch unless you want to watch Discovery or History or Cartoon Network. And so I'm sitting there watching it, and I'm like, in and out of consciousness from the lack of oxygen and the dehydration, and then I open my eye and I see Miley Cyrus twerking on Robin Thicke.
And then a big flat line.
And a big just
he's dying in here. The doctors come in, they're like, oh my God.
Oh my God,
beautiful.
Look at that lack of ass.
Yeah, those pictures where it's like that one picture where it's just a very unflattering angle.
Yeah.
Like a chicken breast or whatever.
Isn't he like 30-something too?
He's far too old.
Too old to be getting twerked on by a girl her age.
He looks old too.
Yeah.
It's not like he's pulling
and then
anything
and then he put out that album that had like Blurred Lines and everything else on, and then his wife left him, and then his next album was like a very somber, sad, like
Alan Thicke's kid, right?
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Can you imagine being Alan Thicke and your son writes a song about taking advantage of women with Pharrell?
I mean, yeah. It's our biggest fear.
Woo!
Movie of the year, Transformers: Age of Extinction. Really fascinating stuff there.
Yeah, which is why.
I don't know. We like that huge, many stupid movies.
Like that many people went to go pay for that and see it.
This whole thing is just I like we were talking about. I don't think I've seen any of these movies. Like it's not my cup of tea, and nothing can fucking go against any of these things. They're fucking gigantic.
Like they're unstoppable.
Yeah, and then the fun viral trend was the ice bucket challenge, which is probably the one that got the most traction. I feel like.
Yeah, I remember seeing everybody
did
it.
That.
I did it.
I got tagged in it and I didn't do it because I was like, this is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And then they were like, I think people die if you don't.
Yeah. It was like a weird Bloody Mary thing where they're like, if you don't do the video, you get ALS or
and the person who tagged me is someone who I could have never even imagined doing it. So I'm like, really? We're not going to do this. And they're like, you have to. And I'm like, no, I don't. I mean, I don't.
You don't have to do anything.
How is this even helping? That was my thing. How is this
It brings awareness to ALS.
Yeah, we're very aware. But half of us are just like, oh, the ice bucket thing, not ALS.
Yeah, nobody gave a fuck about.
What does ALS even mean?
I don't know what it means, but I know what it is.
A little stupid. How about that for you?
This is what gets us shut down. This is how we get shut down.
Oh, yeah, I guess that is. I meant the ice bucket challenge, not the people with crippling L's.
Oh, you just keep as the PR guy for the show currently, as of this moment, because of what's happening. Yeah, I'm afraid I've been promoted based on your recent talk of ALS
I understand.
victims.
I'm sorry. Continuing.
Looks like you're gonna have to get cancer to come back.
Joke's on you. I've had it.
Joke's on you. I'm cancer.
2015 biggest song, Uptown Funk by Mark Ronson and Bruno Mars. Another wonderful hit that you'll hear. These are all songs that if I'm out, I want to leave. You know what I mean?
I don't want to hear these songs.
We shouldn't be.
If I see people enjoying these songs, I know I'm in the wrong place at the wrong time. Like, there's no reason anybody should be enjoying Uptown Funk in public.
No, and yeah, you still hear it. These are like wedding songs to me.
Get it. He says Uptown Funk you up. Get it? Get it?
I get it.
Fuck Bruno Mars. I fucking hate Bruno Mars so fucking much.
What was like his first song that everybody liked?
Grenade.
That might not be what I'm thinking.
I catch a grenade for your head.
No. What was the other one around that time? I feel like he had one that I was like, I don't hate this song.
What was it?
It wasn't that.
I'll pop a quick Wikipedia to Bruno Mars.
Album of the year was 25 by Adele. Does that math work out then? Or did I fuck up? Yeah. 4 years later.
Just the Way You Are. Girl, you're amazing.
Oh, yeah. I did kind of like that song.
Grenade,
as far as like
the lazy song.
I don't know that. I think I only know that, Just the Way You Are. As far as like a very cheesy pop song, I never had a problem with that one.
He also did that song Nothing on You with B.O.B.
Oh, that's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Remember when B.O.B. was relevant?
Yeah.
And then he thought the earth was
like
flat.
Airplanes in the night sky.
Yeah,
like shooting
when I
stars.
had lists of songs,
really wish
I
had
like that song.
That's a good song.
That was supposed to be a Lupe Fiasco song. Like, that's a label
Really?
manufactured song. They tried to give it to Lupe. There's a reference track online of Lupe doing it.
He also
because they constantly were like, Lupe, you have to make pop songs, and he's like, listen to me rap a lot, and they're like, no, you have to make pop songs.
He also did Billionaire with Travis McCoy.
I love that song. Yeah. See, I think I
liked Travis McCoy. I never thought he was that bad.
I hope he's all right.
He is not.
Yeah. Well, I just listened to a podcast with him, and he said he's better now. But yeah, he had a horrific heroin addiction. Yeah, Travis McCoy was super good. One time I stood next to him at a sound set, and I told my girlfriend at the time who was with me, because she was super into Gym Class Heroes, I was like, you know, when you're like looking. You're like, and then I was like, was that Travis McCoy? And she was like, no. And I was like, okay, you'd know better. And then like the next day there was a picture of him. Like, I stopped at Sunset and I was like, see, and she was like, I thought you were pointing at the merch guy. And I was like, why would the merch guy be Travis McCoy? Because also he was like fucking huge.
Yeah, he's a tall man.
He's like insanely big guy. And like covered, like you can't mistake him.
That's
and that's what I thought.
McCoy.
But I was like, I don't listen to him really. This was before like all the other shit. Because he was supposed to put out an album that I was actually excited about, and then it like didn't happen. The heroin got him. Yeah. You hate to see it. Movie of the year, it's Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
Yep, I remember that coming. I've always been a big Star Wars fan.
Never seen a Star Wars.
I know.
Not even one.
Not a single Star Wars.
No.
I think Star Wars.
In traditional fashion, I think I have enough context to make the jokes I need. Understand the conversation. I see the Baby Yoda memes. I thought that was old when it started happening. And I was like, this must be a super old.
It's super
thing.
New.
And then, it's like a TV show or whatever.
Yeah. Man, super good TV show.
I catch on. But yeah, that's what I mean. I know what I need to know.
For me, Star Wars is one of those things I grew up with, like Simpsons, where like it's just so ingrained in me. I watched it so much, you know. It's just like me and my sister really bonded over Star Wars. And so like it was for me really cool to have more Star Wars coming out. Like I remember when Disney bought Star Wars.
Suck, though? I feel like everybody says they
everybody complains about it, but I think a lot of the complaints are.
You think everybody just complains about everything?
I think people just complain about everything, and I think people are the worst because I think people do that thing. Hot take. People are the worst. They do that thing.
Says the PR guy.
they do that thing where
I don't know if you're aware, but the listeners are people.
No.
I know.
There's no way.
It's hard to...
What about the phone farming thing in China we're doing for listeners? Redacted.
Yeah, big redact. Make sure
Huge
you get that.
redaction.
People are running out of the king-size Sharpies, the Magnums.
The big ones.
They're like, this blacks out 3 lines, and I still need
more lines.
Yeah, you got to lick the Sharpie.
They're just saying so much shit so fast.
Spit on the Sharpie.
And it's all so
Spit
raw.
on my
Just
Magnum.
crack open the Sharpie and just dump it all over the paper. It'll go much faster.
And then tell us what you get. Did you say the Grammy from 2015?
Let me find it. But my point I was going to make is people do that thing where they're like, make something else. Okay, well, it's going to be different. Oh, well, we hate it. Okay, well, it's exactly the same. It sounds the same. So it's like people are never happy.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
especially, I think, Star Wars folks are.
Oh, well, the big problem with Star Wars folks is that they hate that there's like women and people who aren't white men in the movies now, unfortunately. And so it ruins it for everybody else. But even I always
say not enough Jar Jar Binks.
Definitely not enough Jar Jar Binks. Need more evil Jar Jar Binks.
That's also the thing. People are like, I'll say I've never seen Star Wars, and they're like, you should watch it. How the fuck, at my current age of a mystery, in this day, would I go and watch Star Wars when I traditionally hate old movies?
Yeah.
Like, it can't live up to...
I can't even watch the prequels because they suck so bad. And then even the old ones, it's like I've seen these so many times. I can just quote what's happening.
I'll tell people, like, I don't think I'm going to like it because of all the hype and, like, how old it is. And they're like,
I honestly, I don't think you would like Star Wars. I don't think
I totally
you
wouldn't. But I'll even tell people, like, well, it's old and, like, outdated. And it's just, like, there's so much hype. And they're like, no, it's still good. Same thing with The Office. I've never watched The Office. And people are like, well, it's so good. And I'm like, you're the reason why I can't watch it because it's so overhyped. I don't believe it can, like...
And it's like same thing, like Office is funny, but like I don't think you would like it.
Yeah.
But like I'm also not going to sit here and be like, it's the greatest show that's ever made.
I just think
like,
people hype stuff up too much. Where I'm like, if I had no idea and I watched The Office or Star Wars, it would probably be like cool. But you guys have made a mockery of it, and I can't catch up.
The 2015 Grammy-winning album of the year was "Morning Phase" by Beck.
Yeah, what the fuck?
See, like, yeah, it doesn't make it, and
That's
believe
just
me,
like an arty pick.
The next 3 don't get any better.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. Yeah. All right, 2016. I think this is the year that had the most shit. I think what I wrote down. Song of the year, "One Dance" by Drake. This is good. That's probably one of the best songs out of these.
Yeah,
songs,
honest to God, yeah.
Album of the year, "Views" by Drake.
Album of the 2016 Grammy-winning album of the year was 1989 by Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I don't understand how the Grammys work.
I don't understand.
That's what we've figured out. We have a lot of problems with the Grammys. We bust open that the Grammys is
open the Grammy conspiracy.
Yeah, and they're like, oh shit, this one podcast caught on that we're like way out of date or whatever. Was Views the last good Drake album? Is that a hot take?
No, I think if you're reading this, it's too late. Was the last good Drake album?
Was there one in between that and Views?
No, Views came after that. It was Views, and
but
then...
Views has Grammys with Future, and then when it goes to Future's verse, he just goes, trophies, and he says trophies so fun that it instantly makes it a great.
I mean, I just didn't think Views was that good.
I don't remember what was on it.
But I think it's also the same thing where, like, if you're reading This Is Too Late got hyped up so much, and like I love that album.
That's just a
classic. It's a perfect Drake album.
Drake, like that thing's violent.
So it's like after that, you can't really do anything that's going to be that good, you know?
Yeah. I think Views was still good. Like,
Views was good, but it wasn't as good as that, and that's
better than everything after Views. I'll say that. I think
I liked what was the
More Life.
I liked More Life more than I liked Views.
I gotta look at these.
Scorpion
fucking
Scorpion sucked. We can all agree on that.
Yeah,
Scorpion
I forget that
bad.
happened.
Yeah, it's like that bad.
People say Scorpion, then I'm like, oh yeah,
with God's
Drake
Plan.
Album. Yeah,
and the song where he confesses to having a son because Pusha T finally pushed him to it.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, movie of the year was Captain America: Civil War.
Which is weird that none of the other Captain Americas were big, but I do specifically remember watching that one and being like, this is like a darker, more serious Marvel movie.
That's the one where he showed his dick, right?
It was, yeah.
He moved that little thing.
Yeah,
that shield.
Yeah, he moved the shield so fast that it ripped his pants off, and then
it was
covered up his
real
dangling.
Funny Captain America film.
And they're like, yeah, looks like the serum made everything bigger, but his dick. And then all of the evil Avengers laughed for 45 minutes. I've seen Avengers movies. I know what they're about.
This is great. Yeah, I could believe this. If you told me, I'd be like, I don't know if this is
Captain America's wiener popped out and then went, wah, 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 wah.
The Civil War was him finding out his dick is tiny.
Yeah, the Civil War is actually the war inside Captain America.
All right, and then some fun viral trends. I'll start with a stupid one that I don't even know if this is accurate, but bottle flipping. apparently took
that
off.
That started then?
2016.
I feel like that was in like the last couple of years where it like blew up.
2016 was just a couple of years.
No. You know what I mean. You know what I'm talking about, right? Like, you know what I mean.
That's what I mean. Some of this shit, like flipping bottles, I'm like, I don't know if my source is 100% on
right,
this. You know what I mean?
Because, people have been flipping bottles
decades.
Been flipping them the other way so I can empty them out because the only thing I run out of is beer.
Waiting for it. Decade. We got the most repetitive joke of the decade.
And we're going to keep running with it.
So, yeah, bottle flipping. Clowns, the clown shit.
The whole clown epidemic where clowns were everywhere.
Which, like, I still don't believe that wasn't there wasn't something more to that.
That's like a mass viral marketing kind of
for
thing.
Like It. I still think it's for It. The remake of It, which didn't come out obviously in 2016, but like a lead up to it. Like that
Did that come out 2017 then?
I think so.
Because part 2 just came out this year,
right.
And the other one came out like...
Yeah. So I feel like
it had to be something.
I've always thought that, and like I don't understand, out of all these insane things that are stupid and don't make any sense. I forgot to talk about the viral trend from last year. Hold on a second. We're talking about clowns. But yeah, that's just like, that's such an insane thing. That's probably the most insane.
Well, because that's what that Wrinkles the Clown documentary gets into a bit, is like the whole viral clown thing that happened. Yeah. And it seems like it might have started from the Wrinkles thing because that guy uploaded a video to the internet.
I don't know. It could be. And people just do shit that they see.
Yeah.
But that just still seems so like fucking
out there.
Crazy. Yeah. Real quick, jumping back to 2015, dabbing. Yeah. Dabbing was invented in 2015. Remember that? That's what I was thinking about when we were talking about meme proposals. Do you think anyone dabbed and opened a ring box?
Oh, they had to. I guarantee someone
person who didn't fulfill a wedding.
Yeah, simply because they proposed just like
in
that.
In a dab. The dab. The classic dab proposal. And if you're listening, don't forget, all these will come back around. Make sure
they will come.
Dab your proposal.
Don't forget, what comes around is always around,
nice
folks.
Italian restaurant.
Italian, an erotic Italian restaurant.
Ideally, but you don't want to drive too far. It's just a proposal.
It's just a proposal. You don't want it to be too erotic.
Most weddings end in divorce.
Most weddings aren't that erotic to begin with.
Yeah. When is your proposal to really?
What future banger is that? Woo!
Yeah. That's when he.
I don't get married. It's a trap.
When he proposes to someone and she says no.
Future doesn't propose.
Eventually, an old future. It's still about when he wanted to propose to Sierra because she just won't. I just want my girlfriend.
Yeah. Oh, that album hurt.
Yeah, you have to.
Sad.
We have to hurt Future.
Xanax Damage was painful to listen to.
That's such a good song, though. I think that's why Future was on my Spotify Rap, because when it came off, I was like, love Future like the rest of us.
You listened to that song a lot when it came out. Because that was
it's so short, too.
Because that was
shorter Future songs.
Yeah.
Almost shorter everyone's songs.
Yeah,
but short Future songs? Like.
Because, God, I remember that came out the weekend I stayed with you when we were, like, dicking around.
Yeah, and you were like, all right, I'm going to go to bed, and then you just heard 4 solid hours of Xanax Damage.
No, but everywhere we drove to, it was just on repeat. It was that and...
Government Official?
That, Government Official, and then I Got Depression.
Oh, yeah, they did.
It was just those 3 songs over and over again.
Yeah. That's why you needed to be there, because I was alone and Xanax Damage dropped.
Oh, my God, yeah.
I was
You can't be alone with Xanax Damage.
Yeah,
I want my baby.
Because when the Spotify Rap came out, I was like, yeah, I love Future. I'm very vocal about it, but I was like,
I love Meathead, who turned into the recording artist Future. That happened this decade.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, that magazine shot was from like 2011.
Was it?
Yeah.
When did Same Time come out?
I don't know. I'm not a future historian. You'll have to forgive me.
Why not?
I know.
That's
one of my goals for 2020
flaws.
is getting a degree in futurism.
But yeah, dabbing happened, and that's another thing. You see someone dab. I watch Floribama Shore traditionally. I love it. And the one fucking guy, all my Floribama Shore heads, you know what I'm talking about, Jeremiah. And he dabs.
Oh, that was ugly what you just said. That was gross feeling.
But they'll be at a club.
My Alabama Shore heads, you know what I'm saying?
Floribama. Alabama Shore's just a thing that no one cares about. But he'll fucking dab in a club, and I'm like, imagine. And he's like very corny, and that's what's fun. Like, I'm not saying Floribama Shore is the pinnacle of well-written TV.
Speaking of the pinnacle of well-written TV, did you see the new TLC show that's coming out today?
I read about it.
About where it's like the big girls with the smaller guys.
Yeah.
I watched the trailer for it today.
Yeah.
Did you see the trailer for it?
I heard they're making a TLC the band.
Yeah, I saw that.
Like
They're making a movie about
I'm
that.
so ready for that
the
big lady.
Yeah. Did you watch the trailer for it today?
Yeah, I sent it. I was like,
where the car drives by and they're like, move, fatty, have some more ice cream. And she just starts crying. How scripted is that?
I know.
Like, there's no way that they were just filming her going down the street and some random guy was like, cameras and a fat girl, I'll be on TV. Hey, fatty.
No, see, I think it's more that. I think that's what TLC is like. That's the best day in the TLC office when they come back and they're like, we got footage of a fat old white man making fun of a fat lady in public.
And they're like, whoa.
There's so many. If we drove by a camera, not a fat woman, but just people, we saw something.
We're gonna do something.
Screaming.
Yeah,
we won't be as mean about it. We'll be like, listen to the Dapper.
And then like later, they're like driving in the car, and they have that car angle where she looks so excited sitting in the seat. She's like, "Did your family have any reservations?" And then it zooms in about my weight, and it's like, he's just sitting there. His palms are sweaty.
Clips to that lady, one of the big ladies throwing the chips and yelling.
Yeah, throwing the chips. And
I'm so.
I know. I want us to watch this and talk about it on here.
Because people are like, a lot of it's scripted. I don't give
a fuck. It's funny.
Then they're the best writers in the goddamn world. And I have to do that.
Because you can't write something that good.
I have to do that
where
all
the guy's
time.
like, oh, I love every inch of her, and there's so many inches to love. And then move, fatty, lay off the ice cream.
I have to do that so much because my brain will be like, why was there a camera? Like when there's like opposite things.
Yeah, because like you got to think
and you're
about
like,
it.
this doesn't make sense. And you got to be like, shut up, logical thoughts. I'm
just
eating my ice
it.
cream and I'm watching my trash TV and I need everything to
I'm
be
eating
shut
chili
up.
dogs
This
and
is
watching
the only
trash
way
TV.
that I had 2 chili dogs for lunch.
Today?
Yeah.
We gotta talk.
It was leftover chili. It was about to go
From
bad.
when?
I know.
Because every time I talk to you, you're eating chili dogs.
Oh, that was one night when we agreed to be productive.
Then how come a week later you're still eating chili dogs?
So not productive. It was shocking.
And I knew exactly what you were doing.
Hour and a half of documentary about Johnny Thunders. Don't mind if I knew. Then I took a bath and then I watched Ready or Not.
I was being so productive, and that's why I texted
just in a different way. I've been productive this whole decade. If I want to have a night to eat chili dogs,
watch a Johnny Thunders documentary,
take a bath, watch Ready or Not, pace in my kitchen for 30 minutes. That was just unrelated before bed. Something else.
We got to talk about
this.
We got to have a bottle of that. Now she's gone. Now I'm sad.
Back to 2016. Sorry, we couldn't forget dabbing. It was a highlight of the day.
we had to talk about trash TV for a second.
All right,
forgive us.
Mannequin Challenge. Remember that?
Vaguely.
Yeah, just that. Black Beatles by Ray Shremmerd.
Oh yeah, that was.
You know Ray Shremmerd? You know what that name comes from?
Isn't it? Their names are something back. It's something
Eardrummers.
Yeah, backwards. Ray Shremmerd.
Yeah, that's the only thing I ever have to say about Ray Shremmerd is that their name is Eardrummers backwards because it's so weird.
Exclusively produced by Mike Will Made It.
But yeah, I like that song. That was the viral song. I didn't understand the Mannequin Challenge. We're just old. This is just us being like, we don't know what the kids were doing. This is just us progressively
getting older.
Because if we were like 12, we totally would have been like mannequin challenging and
like
while doing a dab, and you're doing a Tebow because you're slightly outdated.
Very outdated. And then I'm accidentally proposing while I'm dabbing.
Yeah, to me, and we're 12, and we don't understand what love is.
Been saying no to me for a long time.
Also, 2016, the death of Harambe.
R.I.P. Harambe.
R.I.P. Harambe.
That was really that long ago.
Yeah, I think that's the shirt I want to bring back. Like
R.I.P. Harambe.
Just like but like
Harambe.
In like a decade.
When
you know what I mean?
When can we bust out the Stop Coney 2012 shirts?
I think we can do that soon. I'd say,
Next year?
Yeah.
January 1st, 2020.
Coney shirts. Bold choice.
Is he still out there?
But then the world's like, yeah, fuck those kids. Whatever was happening.
Yeah, everyone just starts circulating that picture of Future with Coney, but it's Coney's face and just says "fuck them kids" on it.
I smell a big merch idea that will be rejected because I got to talk to you about something I tried to make and was instantly rejected.
Oh boy. Can't wait to hear about this.
But yeah, the Harambe thing was also very huge. That's something I've seen someone wear a shirt like too recently.
That's something where I've seen people take it way too seriously too recently.
Yeah, like they killed a kid. They killed that kid.
Yeah.
Imagine one day that kid is going to be like 20 and just be hanging out and they're going to be like, or I was the Harambe kid, and people are going to be like, what? You were the kid with the...
He's going to be going on a date. He's going to be dating a girl for like a year and a half.
3 quick ones. I was the kid that got Harambe killed. Next.
He just gets shot in the face at a speed dating event.
I don't want to say you have to.
I don't want to say you hate to see it happen, but R.I.P. Harambe.
Yeah, that was just a crazy thing.
God, there was a guy I worked with who was like weirdly into memes at the time, and he just kept walking by me every time he walked by me on my shift, he'd just be like R.I.P. Harambe and just keep going, and I'm like, just stop. Just knock it off.
That's what makes it weird is people. I specifically remember, and I feel like it was this era because I knew someone who wore comical Harambe shirts and whatnot. And I was at a bar we used to go to a lot, and I was wearing that shirt I have that says "Save the Planet, Kill Yourself." Mm-hmm. Which, believe it or not, a lot of people comment on.
It's a nice shirt.
But a lot of people aren't happy about it. Or they laugh in an uncomfortable way. And the guy pointed at it and goes, "Are you into death memes?" I was reminded of this on my time hop because I tweeted, a guy just asked me if I'm into death memes. And I said, "I don't know." And he goes, "Cool, cool," and walked away. And I still don't know.
Don't know what that means or what he was going to show you.
Yeah, I don't think my shirt was a death. I would have loved to see a death meme. Well, I don't know if I would have loved to see it, but I needed to know.
Yeah, because then you at least have the piece of
understanding. I live the rest of my life not knowing whether I like death memes or not. Yeah. Someone's going to say it again, and I'm going to be like, "Fuck, I don't know." Dude.
Just say yes next time. Be like me. Say yes to everything.
Then they stab me.
Here's a new one. That's a risk you got to take being into death memes.
In the throat, upper.
Oh no! And they give you a Colombian necktie, and I got to see it happen.
Yeah,
and then I start Frenching the Colombian. You have to see it happen
at some point. And then the biggest, most important moment of 2016 is the release of Blonde.
Yes.
Album of the lifetime. Album of the decade.
Album of the decade for sure. Album of the lifetime. Well, we still got to get another Frank project in to see, but. It's going to be hard to top.
Next decade, Frank. Don't me.
Don't let us down, Frank. I don't want to be sitting here recording in 2029.
You know from our last episode that there was not a Frank album. That's my biggest fear is making the list.
And then like Frank
putting
drops.
The episode out, and then someone, basically Frank, I used to say Kanye, but we know that that's no longer relevant.
We don't know. We're getting Jesus is Born on Christmas Day, allegedly.
Or like a Cardi or Uzi. But Frank is like obviously big.
Like
I don't think Cardi or Uzi. I think they would be on my top 10. Mm-hmm. I would just roll it over to the next year. But
we finally got the
a Frank thing. I would probably just overdub the podcast and be like, "Just Frank Ocean, whatever it is. I don't even know what it's called yet. I just saw it pop.
I just saw it pop up. But it's album of the year.
My alerts for a Twitter page that specifically updates me about
Frank Ocean releases.
Just Frank Ocean.
Just where he's at, what he's doing.
Yeah, and the worst part is I never even get those updates. That's how little he does. And I'm like, I'm subscribed to tweets about you, and I don't even get anything. Like, he's not even seen anywhere.
Frank Ocean doesn't give a fuck about us.
So Blonde, 2016, all that matters. All that matters out of this whole list, if we're going to be honest. But 2017, we saw the biggest song, Despacito.
Which is odd to think that was that long ago. I feel like that was a lot longer ago.
I don't know what it is now, especially going over it. 2016, 2017, I have like a lot of memories about a lot of shit, specifically at Rue. I think it was just 2 years of me,
just 2 years
my residency at Rue.
Yeah.
It was a fucking crazy time. I don't know what I was doing. I was being a little scumbag, I guess.
We were hanging
my life
out.
has changed. Yeah. Well, yeah, somewhat.
2017?
Well, yeah, we'll get to it.
Yeah, we'll get
to it.
Yeah,
but the album of the year was Divide by Ed Sheeran. Is that how you say it?
That sounds about right. It's the division symbol or whatever.
So the album of the year was the division symbol by Ed Sheeran.
2017 Grammy album of the year was 25 by Adele.
Yeah, they're always on top of the shit.
They're just always on top of Adele. As I would like to be.
Yeah.
See that picture of her as Miss Frizzle?
Is she dating Skepta?
Allegedly.
Wow. You know what I mean? Where you're just like, well, yeah, that's how we got her.
Yeah,
oh my
that's
God,
how he did it. He did the little dance.
Yeah. Fuck.
That's
no one knows what we're talking about.
God, he's smacking Adele's big curvy ass.
God. Yeah, that's crazy. There was someone else recent, or like, Jay Electronica is dating someone crazy too.
He had an affair with like some label guy's wife or something like that. Do you remember that?
No, but he's dating like a very rich white woman.
Jay
Electronica? I always
want
to say Reese Witherspoon.
I bet she's got his masters. Drop that Jay Electronica album.
Have anything apparently.
Would you even care about a Jay Electronica album?
I never cared about Jay Electronica.
I never thought he was as big as like because he put out that album on MySpace.
I think he has the best rap career though.
Yeah,
because he's like I don't even know like. I have friends who are like insane about him. Like one of my friends,
because like he put out he only put out like that one
Exhibit C.
No, like Exhibit A or whatever. Where
I think there's 3 Exhibit A.
It was like the Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind that he just ad-libbed over or whatever.
Because that's what I'm like. He's never even put out an album. He can't be like part of this conversation. And people are like, "But I have an album worth of like his stuff," and I'm like, "He's never released."
But there's never been a properly released album. Yeah,
like I've seen him live. He came out at the fucking thing where Kanye came out, and I was just like, oh, you are a person.
Jay Electronica really exists.
And then, he's dating like some high-profile woman. I never remember who it is, but incredible for him. Movie of the year was Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Keeping everything on par. Some fun things from the 17 year, fidget spinners.
Yes, God, I remember.
Yeah, now that it's so close, it feels crazy. We can oh, yes, I do remember.
Well, because I remember working at Target and everybody just coming in. Do you have fidget spinners? Do you have fidget spinners? Do you have fidget spinners? My kid really wants a fidget spinner. It's like, no, we don't have them. Thanks. You just ruined my kid's day. He's got ADD and he needs this to focus. Yeah, go fuck yourself.
How does that help you focus?
It doesn't. It fucking doesn't. It's just a fun thing to play with.
Put him on Ritalin like we used to do.
Give him fucking drugs like you're supposed to.
Kill him.
Put him in the woods. If he truly has ADD, he'll figure it out.
Tell him to go long for a pass and never throw the ball.
Just longer. Keep going. Then you go to the store for a pack of circus peanuts and never come back.
Yeah, those things are fucking crazy. Like
like the fidget cubes.
My dream is to make something like a fidget spinner.
Just something so benign and stupid.
Costs like 5 cents to make. It somehow catches on.
And people buy trillions of them.
$1 billion of it before it's heavily bootlegged everywhere else.
And then just take the money and dip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be perfect.
That's all I'm trying to do with my whole life is secure a bag and dip.
Yeah. I would. Yeah, you think I'd do this shit?
No, if
I had the fidget spinner bag?
If we had the fidget spinner bag, we could quit doing this shit.
No. I would just go to the shittiest bar and be like, I am the fidget spinner man, drinks for everybody, and just have fidget spinners everywhere. And
just drop a big fat stack of cash filled with fidget spinners intermittently.
You're welcome. We also had the Tide Pod epidemic.
The debacle of the Tide Pods.
The forbidden fruit.
I mean, they do look tasty. I'm smart enough to know not to eat it, but it looks...
I understand why it got
There's
poppin'.
a technical name for this. I was reading about it when this all was happening.
Horny.
Where always, but it's...
Horny for Tide Pods.
Doubt it. No, it's like this weird thing where like you want to eat things that aren't food, like when you see like plastic fruit, you know?
Yeah.
And your brain's like, I know that's not food.
Fruit a lot.
And your brain's like, I know that's not food, but I feel like I could put it in my mouth and eat it anyway. It's like this weird psychological thing where your brain, it's like where you see Jesus on toast. It's like your brain sees something.
Every piece of toast I've ever
it's
eaten,
like your brain sees something that thinks it could be food.
Or like when you're on like high cliff and your brain tells you to jump off of it.
Nah, it's not the same thing.
Okay.
But it's like you see it because it looks like plump and colorful, so your monkey brain is like, this is a fruit and I should eat it.
And that's what I mean.
It's filled with soap.
I get like the whole meme for this one more than anything because ever since they've been invented, I'm like, I just want to bite into it. Yeah, I don't even want to eat it. I just want to bite it.
It's because that stupid part of your brain that's like, I want to eat fucking sleep is like, I really want to bite this colorful, plump, juicy
I feel
fruit.
the same way with like cartoon food.
Yeah,
like I want to eat a Krabby Patty, and I've
always wanted to eat a Krusty Burger. I've always wanted to know what
Krusty Burger,
but it did not a Krusty Burger.
No, I ate a Krusty Burger.
No, you didn't.
I stood at Krusty Burger and ordered a Krusty Burger, and there was just like,
jack me off till I die.
I don't know why I would. You're being kind of a dick right now. Anyway, I had a Krusty Burger. It was fine. It had, what am I trying to think? Nacho cheese on it.
Yeah, I saw. That's weird.
Accurate. It was a good burger
with nacho cheese on it.
Yeah, I liked that a lot.
Because I remember I saw a video. They're like, "This is how we make the Krusty Burger."
Yeah, I didn't understand.
It's just basically just a regular burger, but with nacho cheese on it.
Right. They had a flaming mo too. That was disappointing.
Yeah,
that's just orange pop with dry ice in it.
Wasn't even on fire, was it?
No, they told me not to light it on fire. They made this whole thing about it. It was weird. And then 2017, one of the stupidest trends out of the whole thing, the Dapper Dads were born.
The Dapper Dads started.
By far, one of the worst things.
The dumbest, worst
Why
thing
can't
that
it be as viral as Tide Pods?
Because we're not delicious, plump-looking little fruits.
Debatable.
Well, yes, it's debatable, actually, now that you think about it. We might be the most
biggest fuck up you've ever
looking
said.
fruits.
Someone take a bite. Yeah, so we've been around. I feel like now we can say in 2020, I'd like to start putting on things established 2017.
Yeah.
You know how at first, like, you can't be like this year established 2019.
And, like,
you go somewhere and it says established 2019 and you're like, yeah, we're here. This is the year. And the year before you're like, okay. But yeah, once it gets... And it's fun because, you can be like, we started in like July. So as soon as January, it's like 3 years basically based off of just putting a nice little EST dot 2017 on everything. All of our merch is going to have huge established 2017 over
biggest
top of it.
D-bag branding you've ever seen in your entire life.
Like all the shirts we have, all the stuff, the logo for the
We're actually
going
to be printing them over the designs on this
double
shirt.
print. EST 2016 because someone fucked up. It wasn't me.
Nope.
Traditionally. But yeah, so we've been around and we're better than everything. And then I have no more fun things in these years. Well, this year we can probably talk about. But 2018 Song of the Year, God's Plan by Drake.
What was it?
2018?
No, how many weeks? Wasn't it? Was it like 12 weeks or something?
It did something weird.
It was a long time.
It doesn't matter anymore because we have another one to talk about from this year.
The 2018 Grammy-winning album of the year was 24 Karat Magic by Bruno Mars.
Weird. Yeah, the album of the year as far as the sales was Scorpion by Drake.
Mm-hmm.
Movie of the year, Avengers Infinity War. Fun. And then, I have 2018 apparently had nothing. Nothing happened. Nothing I
If
can
you want to
think
know
of
what
just
happened in
a year
2018,
ago.
just listen to our episodes from 2018. We'll catch you up on all the relevant news that happened in there.
That's true. Yeah, you should already know everything. Because, otherwise I guess nothing happened. And then 2019, this beautiful year that we're currently recording in and releasing an episode. I don't have album of the year because I forgot to look for it.
The 2019 Grammy album of the year was Golden Hour by Casey Musgraves, which is something I can finally agree with.
I don't even know that.
She's
album.
wonderful. I love Casey Musgraves. I would literally die just to have a chance to meet her.
Okay, good catch.
She's just so gorgeous and so fun. She's always smoking weed everywhere she goes.
Yeah, it doesn't take much to
And she
impress
just
you,
talks
does it?
about how much acid she does, and she's so gorgeous and so talented.
Well, okay, you're really leading with none of the things that matter as far as a musical artist.
Casey Musgraves, get at her songs are fucking perfect.
Okay, should have lied with that.
Listen to Space Cowboy and Don't Cry.
I guarantee you I will.
Have your space.
And then looking very
Cowboy.
quickly, and I don't know if this is accurate, but now reading it probably is. Taylor Swift Lover, album of the year as far as sales and shit. Jesus Christ, yeah.
She just keeps doing shit.
700,000? Fuck off. Who the fuck wants that? I know people who
The 2019 movie of the year was Avengers Endgame, which is just the sequel to Avengers Infinity War.
Oh yeah, I did have that. Yeah, see, it's all just fucking superheroes.
It's just superhero bullshit that nobody gives a fuck about. But apparently so many people give a fuck about.
And then the only thing I could figure out from this year was storming Area 51.
Yeah,
which
that was
I
like the big viral
loved
thing.
because it went very bad and wasn't funny at all.
Well,
or
then
cool.
What about the fusing your body with metal because all the food you've eaten?
That is a perfect example of what I wanted from this, is those type of stories, and it is unbelievably hard.
How you can't find them.
Like, I don't know why.
I think it's just this day and age of things being viral. Like, they just come and go like a flash in the pan.
Because I was putting in, like, weird news, wacky news, fun news.
Yeah, and it's like I couldn't find anything.
Yeah,
it's like everything was bad. Everything was
Because, like,
sad.
the one thing I was trying to think of that I know, I swear to God, definitely happened this decade, and I could probably Google this specifically, but it was like, that guy eating the face off that other guy.
Yeah, the bath salts
Florida.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was definitely this decade.
And that's what I mean, like those type of stories. That's what I wanted more than, all the trends we had, which it was interesting to recap it. But yeah, like that type of shit was my whole goal with this. And you just can't find fucking any, unless you specifically remember. And I went through probably 25 things that I was like, this will be fun to talk
Just
about.
like that, huh?
Yeah, basically at the end of this research. I was like, this will be fun to talk about. Not this decade. Not this decade
it's like
at
everything
all.
was
everything
like
I think of,
2000
like,
through 2010.
Yeah, and then there'll be things
when we were like young and impressionable and still had hope in the world.
There'll be things that are like, December of 2009. You're like, come on, it's so close.
So very close.
So yeah, that was the main things we had. Overall, things to comment on. For what I have, like, if I think of like the 2010s and what I seen other people talking about overall, social media like went fucking crazy.
Oh yeah, like Facebook.
Like think back
blew
to
up.
2010. Like
no Instagram, no Snapchat, no Twitter.
Instagram was in 2010. Snapchat was in 2011. Twitter was 2008 or something.
Was it?
Yeah.
I don't remember it being like super big back then, though.
No, it was. It was great back then.
Like Facebook. Well,
2009?
Facebook came out in like 2006.
Yeah.
Something like it, but it didn't like blow up until
Right, that's
like,
what I mean.
later.
Yeah, Twitter and Facebook were around and like MySpace, but now like the shit's like because of smartphones. That's my other point. Like now everybody has smartphones.
Because like Vine was a thing that came and went in the last decade, and now we have
Vine.
But now we have TikTok, which is like Vine but weird.
But it wasn't supposed to be.
Right.
Or like Musically they did the same thing with that, where it was like singing and whatnot, and then it turned into like Vine. and then it died because it wasn't musical anymore.
Right, yeah.
And yeah, I don't understand TikTok because I'm ancient. But yeah, like, because smartphones in 2010, it was like the iPhone 4.
Yeah.
And that was like new.
Yeah, like I remember when we worked together and I was doing cell phones, I remembered they were really pushing when the Galaxy S3 came out.
Right, I remember that too. That was
because it had like the dandelion on the front. It was supposed to be like this HD 720p screen and like all this other shit, that's like super outdated now.
The first smart, I had a BlackBerry for some reason, BlackBerry Bold 9700. I loved it, honestly. And then I had an iPhone 5 was the first iPhone I got. I didn't care, and I thought it would be a passing fad, and now I realize that we all are required to have iPhones.
I got an iPhone 5C. That was my first iPhone I ever had.
Cheap.
Yeah, very cheap.
Yeah, I got an iPhone, but that's so like social media, smartphones, the YouTube vlogging shit.
Yeah, where it went from like music videos to like suddenly people having whole careers on YouTube.
Like very profitable careers. Like this kid, I was at Target and I saw this fucking end cap, and it was like some toys for this kid Ryan or whatever, and I was like, what is this? And they were like,
don't even get me
it's
started.
The fucking he
unboxes he just unboxes toys and like plays with them. And he makes millions of dollars every year.
I want some shit like that. I'll have a kid and buy him whatever.
Just let him fucking do whatever.
My God, imagine.
I actually have a pretty extensive list of different services and technologies that came out in the last decade. Uber and Lyft, being able to like just request a taxi from your phone, essentially putting taxis wildly out of business. Yet they still have that taxi only lane at the airport.
And you still see people in taxis.
Yeah.
When we were just in Chicago, there was like just 3 taxis in a row picking people up, and I'm like, really? I can just do this on my phone.
And then in the same line with that, Grubhub and DoorDash, being able to order food and just have it come to the house like that.
Or even like in bigger cities for sure, like where you can just have people go pick you up something from like a store.
Yeah, where they have like the grocery delivery.
Yeah, the Instacart shit. And like even just like go buy me a case of beer.
Because that's all just been in the last couple of years. That wasn't even something that started at the beginning of the decade, you know?
Well, everything is just like on the phones now. You can click and get Amazon Prime and shit.
Mm-hmm. You can log in with your Amazon Prime at the checkout at Whole Foods and get discounts.
Or like wherever the Amazon stores they're trying to do where you can just walk in and out.
That's another thing. Scannable tickets, like on your phone, like being able to just actually like get it in an email and just scan your code at the door.
That's one I wish never existed.
Podcasts. Are a thing that blew up in the last decade.
Yeah, in 2017 when the Dapper Dads started.
Yeah, when the Dapper Dads started. Established 2017 is when podcasts started happening.
Well, I think there was technically podcasts in like 2008, I think it's like the first one, but yeah, like
they blew up in the last decade.
Now they're like
everywhere.
Unbelievable. Everybody's got a podcast.
Jewels are a thing from the past decade. Something.
Well, even just like the vaping, the rise of vaping.
The rise of vaping.
I smoked a vape. Someone I'm not friends with anymore.
Shocker.
Hey guys, got one more in for the decade. We were friends in this decade, many years of this decade. I just go down a wormhole. I'm like, oh my God.
Oh Lord, have I lost everyone?
His dad, when this had to have been 2006, had like a fake cigarette with like, we smoked it and it had like a Marlboro one and then a Red Bull one. You could just dip it in there. That was the first time I ever smoked like an e-cigarette or anything like that. And yeah, now it's fucking like everywhere.
They're everywhere. They got so many times.
And then the Juuls and
because it seemed like of what they did with vaping was they wanted to go like bigger and bigger because you saw those guys with the fucking boxes,
the big rigs, basically smoking out your favorite bar,
basically carrying out around a computer tower with a mouthpiece stuck on it.
Yeah, the new Xbox with a mouthpiece.
Yeah, did you see that giant?
Why would that
piece
be
of shit?
The ideal form?
That's the new thing.
Where do I put that?
Yes, the new sleek Xbox in the shape of a giant rectangle box that wine comes
I'm glad
in.
all of our entertainment centers that are traditionally built for small narrow
sleek,
things.
flat things comes with this big fat thing. I'm gonna have to pop behind my TV.
I gotta put it in my shed.
Natter Days did not. They started existing this decade.
Yes, Natter Days started existing.
Speaking of Xboxes, the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, the Nintendo 3DS came out in 2011.
Yeah.
And then the Nintendo Switch came out this year. So even in the last decade, there's been...
I feel like, that's one that you can always count on is there's going to be
new
video game technology.
Well, because the PS3 and just the Xbox 360 came out last decade. So from Microsoft and PlayStation, there's only been the one upgrade in the last decade, I found. But then they did like, the PlayStation Pro where it's still a PlayStation 4.
Yeah, they tried to make them like...
Yeah, it's like a mid-range one. Air fryers. or something that popped up. They actually started coming around 2008, I read. Was like when the first air fryer came out on the market.
That's what, yeah. There's so much shit. I tried to do the same thing, and then you realize things. Like, even Uber as a company was in, like, 2008 or 9, but didn't go, like, public and actually have, because it was called something else.
Spotify streaming in America.
Yeah, streaming
was
is, like,
decade.
a huge thing.
Well, Spotify Premium coming to America, because where are they based out of?
Sweden?
Sweden or Switzerland? Something with an S.
Yeah.
And so they had the service over there, but in 2012 is when it came over to American markets.
Well, just streaming in general. Because that's
yeah,
what
like
I was
Apple
noticing
Music.
with, like, the SoundScan thing. Like, the reports I was trying to read to figure out the albums of the year, every year it was funny to see, like, them clearly, like, panicking. Like, streaming has went up 12%, 20%, 30%. And then in the past couple of years that it's shifted. And now they say, like, CD sales are, like, 12 CDs were sold this year. And, like, streaming in general, like, Netflix was around, obviously. And
but it was the DVD-only company.
They were streaming before this decade, but it wasn't, like, stable. And it wasn't, like...
Well, they were still mainly doing DVDs before
streaming
this
was like an afterthought. Because I read a whole thing about how they were going to... There was some other plan for it where they weren't counting on streaming to work out, and then they decided to go streaming, and now that's all most people know.
Yeah, because they decided to go with streaming, and then now you can buy...
Streaming and the fucking. Yeah.
The Netflix
the
and chill.
Yes.
I was reading a thing even where they were like, we've gone from DVDs coming in the mail to having an actual Netflix button on the remote when you buy the TV now, and can just pull
That's what
up
I mean,
the
streaming
service.
everything. Like, we don't... Physical media... Besides vinyl records, which are up 33%.
33%, everybody's going to do it. Go check out our Skylar interview to hear our stats about records.
Oh, yeah.
The Oculus Rift came out this year, like not this year, but this decade, like virtual reality, you know?
Yeah, this new wacky
thing. Just having like the headsets and then like the PlayStation VR, like the video game VR.
Yeah, everything is getting more reformed
VR.
And like,
online dating apps like Tinder, Bumble, Grindr.
Because I was reading a long thing about how like online dating has been around for a long time, but now the apps of this decade and whatever, Grindr,
which is not a reputable place to find metalwork, I found out.
You hate it.
The Beats headphones and like Beats pills, and then like just the wider range of Bluetooth speakers that have become available, like the UE Booms and the Bose ones.
Now I can't even imagine like a time when I had to plug my phone into
I
things.
recently I actually recently revived my iPod Classic just to find some of the old bangers on there.
Yeah.
And it felt weird because I'm like walking around my house carrying it. I'm like, I did this for so many years, and it's heavy. Yeah. It's very heavy.
I'm
like, I carried this and a cell phone in my pocket
and a
camera at the same damn time.
Yeah.
And it's like you're like, how did I live without Bluetooth headphones and a streaming service? Because like if you would have told me at the beginning of the decade when I was wasting hours on like LimeWire and Russian torrent sites trying to find like specific discographies, that I was just gonna have it all at my fingertips and not enough time in the world to listen to everything.
And like 2012, whenever Spotify came here, I got one. And I like logged onto it, and it reminded me in my fucking Wrapped. It shows me that like I listened to like 500 minutes of music in 2012, and it was like Marvin Gaye was my biggest artist because I was just looking up old samples because I was like, this isn't going to catch on, and I have downloaded all my music.
To get
so just like very weird specific things and not at all. And I remember people back then like, oh, I want to follow you on Spotify because I like your music, but then I followed you and like you don't use it, and I'm like, yeah, I hate it.
Yeah.
And even just like the past couple of years, I've turned around because I was still like, I don't like Spotify.
Because now in the last like 3-4 years, like you look at my average minutes and it just goes up every year, you know. Lime bikes and Lime scooters, like public, like small mode transportation, I guess you could call it, as opposed to like a bus or a trolley or something, you know?
My favorite, a trolley. We have a trolley. I think it's very specific.
It's a very nice trolley.
When was the last time you were on that trolley? I don't even see it. Do we still have it?
No, we don't have a trolley.
They're like, the trolley's going to be back any minute.
I mean, I never got to actually ride a Lime bike. There was that time I picked one up at the park and it started screaming with a woman's voice on the inside.
Yeah, we didn't let that happen.
But the scooter I rode in Albuquerque was a hella good time. That thing was it's so much fun. They shouldn't let a man like me who's had 4 beers drive it, but they do.
They're not legal. Like, they're technically like not whatever legal.
No, like street legal or whatever.
Yeah, they're totally not legal.
No.
The companies were just like, well, if we put them all out there,
people will be stupid
on them.
Like Instamax film cameras from like Fujifilm and Polaroid. Those little instant Polaroid cameras are a thing from the past decade. The Square Reader is from this decade. 2013 is when that came out.
I guess so. Yeah, I had one back then.
Yeah, it's crazy to think, because everywhere you go to merch tables.
Yeah, for anyone looking to get into the Square Reader, huge dad tip. My second one of this episode. You're welcome. If you're ever open the app and you have your headphones plugged in because you're listening to music and you just want to look at the app for like your sales or whatnot, to see if anyone will ever buy a shirt at www.thedapperdads.com/shop. Get them before the year ends and the decade ends, because we might burn them all. But it will give you the scariest, loudest noise you've ever heard, because it thinks it's reading the fucking reader and it's reading your brain. And I haven't been the same since.
That actually explains quite a bit. When I think about it, your brain got read by a Square Reader. I still hear it
now. If I close my eyes and it's too quiet, I still hear that. I don't know.
That crazy
It's like a
noise.
dial-up that got confidence.
Like that time I put a PS2 disc in my 5 CD reader, and whatever noise came out was probably very similar.
This is us dying because we heard a similar noise.
Instapots are new from this decade. They actually came out in 2010. Is what I read.
I'm just gonna leave. I like your tone with this. This is what the show should be. Is us with actual facts. This would probably be like all the people that listen to our podcast and hate it immediately because they're smart people. This is what they sign up for. They want something of us just like really well researched, no jokes. Like, wow, could you believe that Instapots? They actually just came out. Instead, we're like, well, I put my dick in the Instapot on top of some shit I'd been cooking.
On top of shit, Getty. Hoverboards. I'm just gonna do some fast ones, so we're not just sitting here being dorks.
I was gonna say it's getting long.
Hoverboards, wireless chargers and mobile power packs, selfie sticks, GoPros, iPads, smartwatches like Apple Watches, Fitbits, everything like that. Fire sticks,
these stupid old watches.
Teslas, lightning charging cables and USB-C, pop sockets, Ring doorbells, MacBooks. Amazon Echo, Google Home.
From this.
MacBook Airs are from.
Okay. You got to make sure you're saying the right.
Amazon Echo, Google Homes, things like that you have.
The fact check. They're like almost all of these things are not from this day.
And then 3 for me personally: Impossible Foods, Beyond Meat, and Just Foods. 3 companies that have made revolutionary products out of plants, like burgers, sausages, and then Just Foods does the Just Egg. They do the sauces and everything like that.
It's
and
the propaganda. Folks.
Yeah, there's the propaganda for you.
That's why we can't let them research.
So yeah, there's my fat list of technology and services that we have just gotten in the last decade that we are all incredibly used to.
There you go, folks. We did it. We made this decade possible for you. All those fun things you listen to right now, and you're like, yeah, that was a thing, wasn't it? What do you think the roaring 20s are going to hold?
Hopefully something better. Hopefully good things.
More memorable things?
Yeah, more memorable things. Because it seems like nothing really good or memorable really happened in this
I feel like
decade.
there's gonna I feel like the social media shit is gonna go like bad. Like people are gonna start like not fucking with it.
Yeah, I feel like
it's too crazy.
There's too much of it. I've even gotten to the point where I'm starting to think like I want to just, if it wasn't for like keeping up with the show stuff, I would have deleted all of this stuff by now.
I would have deleted Facebook. I just don't look at Facebook.
I know. I'm thinking about getting rid of my Facebook.
I hate Facebook.
I'm thinking about just getting rid of it.
Twitter and Instagram, I love, because again, I hate when people are like, it's so bad for you. I go on Twitter and it's just a cesspool, and I'm like,
what part of Twitter are you going on?
You're crafting it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like
I'm following. Like
you can follow whoever you want.
I notoriously don't know like political shit because I'm like, I'm following people making dick jokes and rap shit and Instagram is. I love Instagram more than anything. It's pictures of shit I like.
Yeah,
like,
it's just pictures.
I would pay. Don't listen to Instagram, Facebook. But, like, this is shit, like, I would love, like, I just find cool shirts and funny memes and...
girls with big
booties. Little white rapper kids that just doing I hate,
crazy
but then
shit.
I'm like, I like you a lot.
Italian men with cigars giving me advice of the day.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Hey, Instagram is big time Tommy.
But, yeah, I feel like that. I feel like also, like, the vlogging shit eventually is going to hit something.
It's going to hit, like,
critical mass.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, a point where it's just too much and everything. People are just going to start scaling back.
Yeah, I think we have too much at our fingertips. It's going to be very interesting.
I feel like it's either going to technology is either going to push forward really heavily with like virtual reality stuff, or people are going to. I think what's going to happen is there's going to be it's going to be a divide. There's going to be technology where it just keeps getting pushed to this point and everything just keeps getting more of a conglomerate and everything like bleeds together, and then there's going to be people that push back against all of that.
Right.
And people who are like,
and we go live in the woods.
Yeah, I've had my plan's been to run away and live in the woods since like 5 years ago.
Yeah, so we'll be in the woods. You guys will be in your technology bubbles. Yeah, otherwise I really don't know. You know what I mean? I feel like anything could happen.
Well, because it's like even just looking...
Not to sound like 1,000 years old.
Even just looking back at all the products and stuff that are new, like these are some things that are just like normal in my everyday life.
Let me find it here. Doritos Locos Tacos, 2012.
Yeah.
That was one that stood out. I'm looking through different things, and they're like, Uber, blah, 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 Spotify. And every site was like, and the Doritos Locos Tacos. And you're like... Okay, and then I seen it like 20 times, and I was like, I guess we got to bring up this.
It's a good thing.
I've never had it.
Really?
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, it's exactly what it is. It's just a taco with a Dorito
we could go
shop.
through Taco Bell products, because this has been a fantastic decade. And
oh
they
my
take
God.
it away from you.
They take away everything, and then they bring it back like a year later when you don't want it anymore.
I don't want it.
Like
what happened to that fucking taco? And the shell was a piece of fried chicken. That thing was beautiful.
Fire. And then you had to go in and customize it and get beef on it too, because you're a piece of shit. So just get a real taco made out of a chicken shell.
Yeah.
Then they had the waffle taco for breakfast. Remember that? And then it turned into the biscuit taco, which is a weird thing.
I love these things, but then when you take them away, I'm like, is there something wrong with it?
Yeah,
are you telling me something is unhealthy about the taco?
Like they got rid of the volcano menu 10 years ago, and I'm like, why haven't they brought back the sauce? I'm at home reading blogs about how to make a knockoff sauce, and I'm whipping it up in my kitchen and putting it on everything.
I don't understand. Yeah, there's either something grossly wrong with every product they create, or they know like if we take it away, they'll keep coming.
It's like those rolled chicken tacos. They take them away and they bring them back every year, and they're fire.
They're so good.
Give me a 12-pack of rolled chicken tacos and some guacamole to dip them in.
I know. My problem is ordering the sauces.
Because
why?
Because you're like, I had like 4 orders of a 4-piece rolled chicken taco.
They're in the
and they're like, you get 8 sauces with that, and I'm like, what do I?
I always want to be like,
how much sauce do I need to dip my rolled chicken taco?
I always want to be like, listen. Split them up in like a logical way. You know what I mean? You feel me? Like
if you're giving me 8
cheese, nacho cheese, ranch, guacamole, right?
Yeah.
That's it.
So if I get 8 sauces,
I don't need 10 guacamoles.
No.
You know what I'm saying? We're both human beings.
If I'm doing 4 and 4, give me 3 nacho cheese, 3 ranch, 2 guacamoles.
Perfect.
It's not that hard.
Yeah, and they're like, this guy must want 19 guacamoles.
And then they're like, no, we have to do it per order. So one has guacamole and cheese, and another's guac and cheese, and another's guac. And you're like, no, just 2 guac.
Where's the ranch? That's probably the best, but I don't remember because I don't do this.
No,
often.
you gotta order through the app and get the Baja sauce.
I constantly want to just go to a drive-thru and be like, listen, we're both people. What makes the most sense here? Don't give me a fuck ton of guacamole, and don't give me like the lamest sauce you've got. Let's go. Come on.
Give me the good sauce.
Yeah.
Give me the sauces you got hiding in the
fire
back.
sauce.
What's the
I'm not
secret?
looking for mild sauce. What even is that? A child's
mild
tears?
Sauce? Oh, yeah. It's nothing.
I want fire. Don't give me hot, and don't go above it.
Don't give me the
Diablo
sauce. Give me just the fire sauce.
You know what I like.
Bring back that dark red fire roasted red pepper salsa, and exclusively that.
This is why our orders take so long at Taco Bell, because we're
sitting there reminiscing about things that
they're
we
like,
want.
Sir, I've worked here 3 months. Sir, this is
my first day. I have no control over any of this.
Well, you shouldn't be at the drive-thru.
Well, then what the fuck did they train you for then? Where's your manager?
He's also only been here a couple weeks.
Where's your manager that's been here for 13 years and thought it was just going to be a quick...
Bill is gone.
Bill's gone. He's moved on. He literally died.
Oh, it's nice that you guys...
He died on the floor of the Taco Bell.
He moved on from life.
He moved
graduated from
He's
life.
managing Taco Bells in hell now.
I'm glad that we took a decade of content and found exactly what we needed, which is Taco Bell and their forgotten soldiers. So tell us your favorite things of the decade, or fucking don't, because it's over.
Tell us
We're
what
done.
we forgot, or don't let us live in the past.
Never tell us what we forgot.
No, or don't let us live in the past and help us have bright, keen, bushy eyes looking forward to the future.
Here's to 2020, you fucks.
So do we have anything we want to say going into 2020? Just fuck them, fuck all of them.
What's there to say?
Yeah, fuck all
We
this
won't
shit.
make it to the next 2029. This will be dead by then, I promise.
You promise? Promise? Do you promise me? Can you promise me this will be dead?
10 more
Just
years?
promise me this is going to be dead. Yeah! Yeah!